The moonlit garden. Once upon a time, in a charming village nestled between emerald hills and sparkling streams, there was a hidden garden known only to a few. This garden was said to bloom only under the light of the full moon, and it was believed to hold the secrets of nature's most wondrous plants. In this village lived a young girl named Lila, who was known for her love of nature and her deep curiosity about the world. She often dreamt of discovering the moonlit garden and uncovering its mysteries. Her grandmother had told her stories of its magical flowers that could heal any ailment and its fruits that could grant dreams. One evening, as the full moon began to rise and bathe the world in its soft, silvery light, Lila decided to follow the old tales and find the elusive garden. She packed a small satchel with a lantern, a notebook, and some snacks, and set out towards the edge of the forest where the garden was rumored to be hidden. As Lila wandered through the moonlit woods, she felt a sense of magic in the air. The trees seemed to whisper secrets, and the ground sparkled with tiny, glowing fireflies. Following a path marked by glowing mushrooms, she ventured deeper into the forest. After a while, Lila arrived at a clearing where the moonlight illuminated a majestic, ancient oak tree. Beneath the tree was an old wooden door, covered in vines and adorned with glowing runes. With a deep breath and a touch of excitement, Lila opened the door and stepped into the moonlit garden. The garden was more magnificent than she had ever imagined. Moonlight danced across lush, flowering plants that shimmered in hues of silver and blue. The air was filled with the sweet fragrance of blooming nightshade flowers and the soft hum of magical creatures flitting about. In the center of the garden was a large, crystal-clear pond, its surface reflecting the moonlight like a mirror. Beside the pond stood a wise old figure with flowing silver robes and a kind face, the guardian of the moonlit garden. "Welcome, Lila," the guardian said in a voice as gentle as a whisper. "I have been expecting you. What brings you to the moonlit garden?" Lila's eyes widened with wonder. "I have heard tales of the garden's magic and came to see it for myself. I want to help my village, which has been struggling with a terrible drought. Can the garden help?" The guardian smiled warmly. "The moonlit garden holds many wonders, and it is here to share its gifts with those who seek them with pure hearts. There is a special flower in this garden called the moon blossom. It can bring forth rain and restore life to the land. But to find it, you must prove your worth by solving a riddle." With a nod of determination, Lila listened as the guardian spoke the riddle. "I am not alive, but I grow. I don't have lungs, but I need air. I don't have a mouth, but water kills me. What am I?" Lila thought carefully, her mind racing through the possibilities. After a moment, a smile spread across her face. "The answer is fire." The guardian's eyes sparkled with approval. "Well done, Lila. You have proven yourself worthy. The moon blossom can be found at the heart of the garden, near the pond. Follow the light of the fireflies, and you will find it." Lila thanked the guardian and followed the path illuminated by the fireflies. At the heart of the garden, she found a breathtaking flower with petals that shimmered like liquid moonlight. She carefully picked the moon blossom and made her way back to the village. As she approached the village, Lila saw the villagers gathered around, their faces filled with worry. She held up the moon blossom, and its light began to glow even brighter. Lila placed the flower in the center of the village square and whispered a heartfelt wish for rain. The sky above the village darkened, and soon, a gentle rain began to fall. The parched land drank in the water, and the fields began to show signs of life. The villagers cheered with joy as the garden's magic restored their land and their hope. Lila was celebrated as a hero, and the moonlit garden became a cherished part of the village's lore. The garden continued to thrive under the moonlight, a symbol of magic and hope. And so, the village flourished, and Lila's bravery and kindness were remembered for generations. The moonlit garden remained a magical place where dreams and wishes came to life, thanks to a girl who believed in the power of nature and the magic of the moon. And they all lived happily ever after. I hope you enjoyed this fairy tale. Once upon a time, in a quiet valley surrounded by ancient forests, there was a small village called Luminara. The village was known for its enchanting beauty and its connection to the magical moonlit grove that lay beyond the hills. Every month, when the full moon rose high in the sky, the grove would sparkle with thousands of twinkling lights, casting a soft glow over the land. The villagers believed that the moonlit grove was guarded by a mysterious star named Astra, who watched over the grove and ensured its magic remained safe. According to legend, Astra had the power to grant a single wish to anyone who could solve the riddle of the moonlit path. In this village lived a kind-hearted young girl named Elara. Elara had always been fascinated by the moonlit grove and dreamed of uncovering its secrets. One evening, as the full moon began to rise, Elara decided it was time to explore the grove and discover if the legends were true. With a small lantern in hand, Elara set off towards the grove. The path to the grove was winding and covered in soft, glowing moss that lit up under the moon's light. As she ventured deeper into the forest, she marveled at the beauty surrounding her. The trees seemed to whisper ancient psalms, and fireflies danced in the air. As Elara reached the entrance to the moonlit grove, she saw a large, ancient oak tree with a door carved into its trunk. The door was covered in intricate patterns that seemed to shift and shimmer in the moonlight. Above the door, a sign read, "To enter, solve the riddle and prove your heart's true intention." Elara took a deep breath and read the riddle. "I am not alive, but I grow. I don't have lungs, but I need air. I don't have a mouth, but water kills me. What am I?" Elara pondered the riddle for a moment, thinking about the things she had learned and observed in the village. Suddenly, the answer came to her: fire. With confidence, Elara spoke the answer aloud. The oak tree's door creaked open, revealing a path that led into the heart of the grove. The path was lined with glowing stones that guided her way. As she walked, she noticed the grove was even more magical than she had imagined: trees with silver leaves, flowers that glowed softly, and a gentle, soothing melody that filled the air. At the end of the path, Elara found herself in a clearing where the light of the moon shone brightest. There, on a pedestal made of crystal, was a shimmering, star-shaped gemstone. Surrounding the pedestal was a circle of luminous flowers that seemed to pulse with the rhythm of the moon's light. As Elara approached the gemstone, she felt a warm, gentle presence. From the center of the clearing, a soft, radiant light began to take shape, revealing Astra, the star guardian. Astra's form was ethereal, with a flowing gown of stardust and eyes that sparkled like the night sky. "Welcome, Elara," Astra said in a voice that was both musical and soothing. "You have solved the riddle and shown bravery and kindness in your heart. As a reward, I shall grant you a single wish." Elara gazed at the star-shaped gemstone, feeling a mixture of excitement and responsibility. She thought of her village, the people she loved, and the challenges they faced. Finally, she made her wish with a heart full of hope. "I wish for the prosperity and happiness of my village," Elara said. "I want the people of Luminera to thrive and find joy in every day." Astra's eyes gleamed with approval. "A selfless wish, indeed. Your heart is pure, and your intentions are noble. I shall grant your wish." With a wave of Astra's hand, the star-shaped gemstone glowed brightly, sending a beam of light towards the village. The light spread like a ripple across the land, touching every home and field. As the beam of light faded, the village of Luminera began to flourish like never before. The crops grew bountiful, the rivers flowed crystal clear, and the people's hearts were filled with joy and contentment. Elara returned to her village, where she was greeted with cheers and celebrations. The villagers marveled at the sudden prosperity and wondered how such a transformation had come to pass. Elara shared the story of her adventure and the wish she had made for their happiness. From that day on, the moonlit grove became a place of reverence and wonder for the villagers. They continued to celebrate the full moon each month, grateful for the magic that had blessed their lives. Elara's selfless wish had brought prosperity to Luminera, and the village thrived under the light of the moon and the protection of the star guardian. And so, Elara's story became a cherished legend in Luminera, a reminder of the power of kindness, selflessness, and the magic that lies in the heart of those who seek to make the world a better place. The end. Once upon a time, in a quaint seaside village, there lived a young girl named Lila who loved to explore the shore. The village, known for its vibrant colors and warm-hearted people, was nestled between a lush green forest and a sparkling blue sea. One day, while wandering along the beach, Lila discovered a shimmering starfish half buried in the sand. It sparkled in hues of gold and silver, unlike any starfish she had ever seen. Curious, she picked it up, and as she did, the starfish began to glow brightly. "Thank you for finding me," a soft, melodic voice spoke from the starfish. Lila nearly dropped it in surprise, but the voice continued, "I am Stardust, an enchanted starfish from the depths of the ocean. Long ago, a sea witch cast a spell on me, trapping me here. I can grant you one wish in return for freeing me." Lila's eyes widened with wonder. She had always wished for an adventure beyond her village. She thought for a moment and then said, "I wish to see what lies beyond the horizon and to have an adventure like never before." With a flash of light, Stardust transformed into a magical boat with golden sails. "Climb aboard," the voice instructed, "and your adventure will begin." Excited, Lila climbed into the boat. As soon as she sat down, the boat began to glide smoothly over the water, leaving behind a trail of sparkling waves. The sea was calm, and the sky was painted with the soft colors of sunset. As the boat sailed farther from the shore, Lila saw wonders she had never imagined. The ocean was teeming with colorful fish that danced in the water, and dolphins leaped gracefully alongside the boat. At night, the boat floated under a sky filled with dazzling stars that seemed to touch the water. After a few days at sea, the boat arrived at a hidden island. The island was covered in lush, exotic plants, and a waterfall cascaded into a crystal-clear pool. Lila disembarked and explored the island. She found a grove of ancient trees whose leaves sparkled like emeralds and a cave with walls covered in glistening gems. As Lila ventured deeper into the cave, she discovered a glowing chest. Inside the chest were several magical items, a golden compass, a cloak of invisibility, and a book of ancient spells. The compass pointed not just north but toward the heart of every adventure. Just as Lila was about to examine the book, she heard a rustling sound. Out of the shadows emerged a friendly, talking parrot named Captain Featherbeak. "Ahoy, there," squawked the parrot. "I see you found the treasures of the Island of Wonders. I've been guarding them for centuries. What brings you here?" Lila explained her wish for adventure and how Stardust had helped her. Captain Featherbeak nodded thoughtfully. "You've proven yourself to be brave and kind. These treasures are meant for those with a true spirit of adventure." Captain Featherbeak then shared stories of the island's magic and the sea's secrets. He spoke of hidden treasures and mystical creatures, and even offered to accompany Lila on her journey to explore more of the world. Lila and Captain Featherbeak set off together, using the magical compass to guide their way. They encountered magnificent sea creatures, explored forgotten shipwrecks, and even helped a mermaid retrieve a stolen pearl from a mischievous sea serpent. Their adventures were filled with challenges, but also with laughter and friendship. With each new journey, Lila learned more about bravery, kindness, and the magic that exists in every corner of the world. Eventually, the magical boat brought Lila back to her village. The people welcomed her with open arms, amazed by the tales of her travels. Lila kept the treasures as reminders of her grand adventure and continued to explore, always guided by the golden compass. As for Stardust, the starfish returned to the ocean depths, forever grateful to Lila for setting him free. The enchanting adventures lived on in Lila's heart, and she knew that the world was full of magic just waiting to be discovered. And so, Lila's story became a legend in her village, inspiring others to seek their own adventures and to believe in the wonders of the world. And whenever she looked at the stars, she remembered the enchanted starfish that had made her dreams come true. Once upon a time, in a land far beyond the mountains and forests, there was a peaceful kingdom called Lemuria. The kingdom was blessed with fertile lands, sparkling rivers, and kind-hearted people. But what made Lemuria truly special was the sky. Every night, the sky above Lemuria was filled with countless stars that shimmered like diamonds, casting a gentle light over the kingdom. The people of Lemuria believed that each star was a wish, and if you wished upon the right one, your dreams would come true. In this kingdom, there lived a young girl named Elara. Elara was different from the other children in the village. While they played and laughed during the day, Elara spent most of her time gazing up at the night sky. She was fascinated by the stars and dreamed of one day reaching them. Elara's family was poor, but her heart was rich with wonder and imagination. She often wondered if the stars had their own stories and if they could talk, what tales they would tell. One warm summer evening, as Elara was sitting by the river and staring up at the sky, she noticed something strange. A star was moving, growing brighter and larger as it descended toward the earth. Elara's heart raced with excitement and fear as she watched the star fall, leaving a trail of silver light behind it. It landed in the enchanted forest, a place that no one dared to enter. The enchanted forest was full of ancient magic and was said to be home to mysterious creatures. The villagers spoke of a powerful dragon that guarded the forest, a dragon with eyes that shimmered like the stars. Despite the tales of danger, Elara felt a strong pull toward the forest. She knew she had to find the fallen star, no matter what. Determined, Elara set out on her journey the very next morning. She packed a small satchel with some bread, cheese, and a flask of water. With a deep breath, she entered the enchanted forest, her heart pounding with both excitement and fear. The forest was dense, with tall trees that seemed to whisper secrets as she walked past them. The air was thick with the scent of moss and wildflowers, and beams of sunlight filtered through the leaves, casting dancing shadows on the ground. As Elara ventured deeper into the forest, she heard the soft trickling of a stream and the distant hoot of an owl. The forest was alive with sounds, but it was not frightening. In fact, Elara felt a strange sense of calm, as if the forest was welcoming her. She continued to walk, guided by a feeling deep within her. After hours of walking, Elara came across a clearing. In the center of the clearing was a large, ancient tree, its branches stretching high into the sky. Beneath the tree, nestled in the roots, was the fallen star. It wasn't just a star, it was a tiny, glowing orb, pulsing with a soft, silver light. Elara approached it slowly, her breath caught in her throat. She reached out to touch it, but just as her fingers brushed against the orb, she heard a deep, rumbling voice behind her. "Who dares to enter my forest?" Elara spun around and gasped. Standing before her was the most magnificent creature she had ever seen, a dragon. Its scales were a deep midnight blue, and its eyes shimmered with the light of 1,000 stars. The dragon was both terrifying and beautiful, and Elara felt her knees go weak as she stared up at it. I'm sorry," Elara stammered, "I didn't mean to intrude. I was just looking for the fallen star." The dragon narrowed its eyes, studying her closely. "The fallen star belongs to this forest," it said, its voice low and powerful. "It is not meant for mortals to touch." Elara's heart sank. She had come so far, and now she was being turned away. But something inside her told her not to give up. She took a deep breath and looked into the dragon's starry eyes. "Please," she said, her voice trembling. "I have always dreamed of reaching the stars. I don't want to take the star from the forest. I just want to understand it, to know if the stars really do hold the power to make dreams come true." The dragon's gaze softened, and for a moment, Elara thought she saw a flicker of sadness in its eyes. "You are different from the others who have come before you," the dragon said. "They sought the star for power, for greed. But you seek it for knowledge and wonder." Elara nodded, her heart pounding in her chest. "I have always felt a connection to the stars. I believe they have stories to tell, stories that could change the world." The dragon was silent for a long time, its eyes fixed on Elara. Finally, it spoke. "Very well. I will grant you the knowledge you seek, but first, you must prove yourself worthy. The stars do hold great power, but they also hold great responsibility. You must show me that your heart is pure, that your dreams are not born of selfishness." Elara nodded eagerly. "I'll do anything," she said. The dragon lowered its massive head, bringing its eyes level with Elara's. "Then listen carefully. I will give you 3 tasks. Complete them, and I will share with you the secrets of the stars." fail, and you must leave the forest and never return. Elara took a deep breath and nodded. I'm ready. The first task, the River of Reflection. The dragon's first task was to find the River of Reflection, a magical river hidden deep within the forest. The river was said to reveal the true nature of anyone who gazed into its waters. Elara had to look into the river and accept whatever truth it showed her. Elara wandered through the forest for hours, searching for the river. Just when she began to lose hope, she heard the gentle sound of flowing water. She followed the sound until she came to a small, clear stream. The water was so still and pure that it reflected the sky above like a mirror. Elara knelt by the riverbank and peered into the water. At first, she saw only her own reflection, but then the water began to ripple, and her reflection changed. She saw herself as a child, lonely and lost, gazing up at the stars. She saw the sadness in her own eyes, the longing for something more. But she also saw the strength that had grown within her, the determination to follow her dreams despite the hardships. Tears welled up in Elara's eyes as she realized the truth. She had spent so much time dreaming of the stars that she had forgotten to live in the world around her. She had been searching for something outside herself when the strength she needed was inside her all along. Elara took a deep breath and wiped her tears. She had learned her first lesson: true strength comes from within. The second task, the Garden of Giving. The dragon's second task was to find the Garden of Giving, a hidden garden where the most beautiful flowers in the kingdom bloomed. But these flowers were special, they only bloomed when someone gave something of themselves to another. Elara set out to find the garden, and after a long journey, she came upon a small, overgrown patch of land. The garden was wilted and dry, with only a few sad flowers struggling to survive. Elara knelt by the flowers and gently touched their petals. She could feel the sadness in the earth, the longing for care and love. Without hesitation, Elara took out the flask of water she had brought and poured it over the flowers. She then began to sing a soft, soothing song, one that her mother had sung to her when she was a child. As she sang, she thought of all the people in her village, the ones who had helped her and her family when they had nothing. She thought of the kindness of strangers and the warmth of giving without expecting anything in return. Slowly, the garden began to come to life. The flowers lifted their heads, their colors growing brighter and more vibrant. The air was filled with their sweet fragrance, and Elara smiled, knowing she had passed the second task. She had learned her second lesson: true beauty comes from giving and sharing with others. The third task, the Valley of Dreams. The dragon's final task was the most difficult. Elara had to find the Valley of Dreams, a place where all the hopes and wishes of the world gathered. But the valley was also home to the nightmares, dark creatures that fed on fear and doubt. Elara had to face her greatest fear and overcome it to prove that her dreams were strong enough to withstand the darkness. Elara traveled for days, searching for the valley. She finally found it at the edge of the forest, a place where the trees thinned out and the land opened up into a wide, misty plain. The air was thick with tension, and Elara could feel the presence of the nightmares lurking in the shadows. As she entered the valley, the mist grew thicker, and she began to hear whispers, soft, taunting voices that filled her mind with doubt. They told her she was foolish for dreaming, that she would never reach the stars, that her journey had been for nothing. Elara's heart pounded with fear, and for a moment, she felt like giving up. But then she remembered the lessons she had learned, the strength within herself, the power of giving, and the belief in her dreams. She took a deep breath and called out to the nightmares. "I am not afraid of you," she shouted. "My dreams are stronger than your darkness. I believe in myself, and I believe in the power of hope and love." The nightmares hissed and swirled around her, but Elara stood firm. She closed her eyes and focused on the light within her, the light that had guided her through the forest, the light that came from the stars. The mist began to lift, and the valley filled with a soft, golden light. The nightmares shrieked and fled, unable to withstand the strength of Elara's resolve. Elara opened her eyes and saw the valley before her, bathed in light. She had faced her fear and overcome it. She had learned her final lesson: true dreams are born from courage and belief in oneself. The reward: Elara returned to the clearing where the dragon awaited her. The dragon smiled, its starry eyes twinkling with approval. "You have proven yourself, Elara," the dragon said. "You have shown that your heart is pure, your dreams are selfless, and your courage is strong. I will now grant you the knowledge you seek." The dragon gently placed a claw over the fallen star, and it began to glow even brighter. The light filled the clearing, and Elara felt a warmth spread through her body. She could feel the wisdom of the stars flowing into her, filling her with understanding and peace. "The stars do hold great power," the dragon said. "But that power is not in granting wishes. It is in guiding those who seek the truth within themselves. You do not need to reach the stars to achieve your dreams, Elara. The light you seek is already within you." Elara smiled, tears of joy in her eyes. She finally understood. The stars were a symbol of hope and wonder, but the true power lay in her own heart and the choices she made. With a grateful heart, Elara thanked the dragon and returned to her village. She carried the knowledge and wisdom she had gained with her, and she shared it with the people of Lemuria. The village prospered, and Elara became known as the starry-eyed dreamer, a girl who had found the light within herself. And every night, as the stars twinkled above Lemuria, Elara would look up at the sky and smile, knowing that the greatest journey of all was the one she had taken within her own heart. The end. Once upon a time, in a far-off land where the skies were always painted in hues of gold and purple, there was a quaint village named Lumina. Lumina was a place of beauty and wonder, but it had one particular secret that made it extraordinary. Every night, its skies were filled with floating lanterns that drifted like stars, casting a magical glow over the village. The lanterns were not ordinary, they were enchanted and held the light of the ancient moonstone, a powerful gem hidden deep within the whispering forest. It was said that the moonstone had the power to keep the lanterns aglow, filling the village with tranquility and dreams. In Lumina lived a brave and kind-hearted girl named Elara. Elara was known for her curiosity and love of adventures. She often spent her evenings gazing up at the lanterns, dreaming of the day she might see one up close. However, lately, the lanterns had started to flicker and dim, and the village was becoming worried. One evening, as the lanterns dimmed more than ever before, Elara decided that it was time to discover what was wrong and restore their light. Armed with a lantern of her own, a small pouch of provisions, and her loyal dog, Rusty, Elara set out for the Whispering Forest. The forest was known for its ancient trees that seemed to whisper secrets in the wind. As Elara and Rusty ventured deeper into the woods, the path grew darker and more tangled. The trees were so dense that the moonlight barely penetrated. Suddenly, they came across a shimmering stream. Its water sparkled under the moonlight, and the stream was guarded by a wise old frog named Bramble. "Greetings, young traveler," said Bramble. "To pass, you must solve my riddle. The moonstone's light fades, and you seek to restore it. Answer this correctly, and I shall guide you." Elara nodded, ready for the challenge. Bramble continued, "I have cities but no houses, forests but no trees, and rivers but no water. What am I?" Elara thought hard, her gaze fixed on the rippling water. "A map," she answered confidently. Bramble smiled and leaped aside, revealing a hidden path that wound through the forest. "You are correct. Follow this path to find the moonstone." Thanking Bramble, Elara and Rusty continued along the path. It led them to a large clearing bathed in soft moonlight. In the center of the clearing was a grand, ancient oak tree. At its base was a small, ornate door, half hidden by vines. Elara pushed the door open and found herself in a magical underground chamber. The chamber was filled with crystals that cast colorful lights across the walls. At the center of the chamber was the moonstone, but it was dim and surrounded by a swirling mist. As Elara approached, the mist grew thicker and the chamber colder. She knew she had to act quickly. Remembering the stories she had heard, Elara took out her lantern and held it up to the moonstone. The lantern's light touched the moonstone, and a soft, warm glow began to emanate from it. The mist started to dissipate, and the moonstone's light grew stronger and more vibrant. But the light needed one final boost. Rusty, who had been quietly sitting beside her, began to bark excitedly. Ilara noticed that Rusty was pointing at a small pedestal where an ancient book lay. She opened the book and found a page that described a special incantation to strengthen the Moonstone's power. Ilara read the incantation aloud, and as she did, the Moonstone's light blazed brighter, casting a warm and inviting glow throughout the chamber. The mist vanished completely, and the Moonstone was once again radiant. With the Moonstone's power restored, Ilara and Rusty made their way back to Lumina. As they emerged from the forest, the lanterns in the sky began to glow brightly once more, casting their enchanting light over the village. The villagers rejoiced at the return of the lantern's brilliance. They gathered around Ilara, cheering and celebrating her bravery and determination. The village of Lumina was filled with happiness and gratitude, and the lanterns continued to shine with their magical glow every night. Ilara's adventure became a cherished tale in Lumina, a reminder of the courage it takes to face challenges and the magic that lies in the heart of those who seek to make the world a better place. The lanterns, guided by the light of the restored Moonstone, remained a symbol of hope and wonder for generations to come. The enchanted lantern in a faraway land near the mountains touched the sky and the forests whispered ancient secrets. There was a village named Lumina. Lumina was a place of magic and wonder, known for its vibrant festivals and glowing lanterns that floated high into the night sky. These lanterns were not just for show, they were said to carry wishes to the stars. In this village lived a young girl named Mira. Mira was known for her bright smile and her boundless curiosity. Her greatest dream was to see the world beyond Lumina and to find the legendary enchanted lantern, a mystical artifact said to grant a single wish to anyone who found it. The mysterious map. One crisp autumn evening, as the village prepared for the annual Lantern Festival, Mira discovered an old, dusty map hidden in her grandmother's attic. The map was adorned with intricate symbols and a glowing path leading to the enchanted lantern. Excited by her discovery, Mira decided to embark on a quest to find it. Before she left, Mira's grandmother gave her a small, silver locket that had been passed down through generations. This locket, her grandmother said, will guide you in times of need. Trust in its light and your heart. The journey begins with the map in hand and the locket around her neck. Mira set out on her adventure. The map led her through dense forests, over sparkling rivers, and up steep, misty mountains. Along the way, Mira encountered several magical creatures, a wise old owl, a playful brook sprite, and a gentle giant named Gorm. Each creature offered Mira a piece of advice. The owl spoke of the importance of wisdom and patience, the sprite warned her of hidden challenges, and Gorm advised her to rely on her courage and kindness. The hidden cavern. After days of traveling, Mira arrived at the base of a towering mountain. The map showed that the enchanted lantern was hidden in a secret cavern within the mountain. As she ventured into the dark cavern, the locket began to glow softly, illuminating her path. Inside the cavern, Mira faced a series of trials, a maze of glowing vines, a river of shimmering mist, and a bridge guarded by a riddle-speaking dragon. With the help of the locket's light and her newfound wisdom, Mira overcame each challenge with grace and determination. The enchanted lantern. At last, Mira reached the heart of the cavern. There, on a pedestal bathed in a soft, golden light, was the enchanted lantern. It was more beautiful than she had ever imagined, with delicate patterns of starlight etched into its surface. Mira approached the lantern, her heart pounding with anticipation. She took a deep breath and made her wish. I wish for the happiness and well-being of my village and everyone in it. As soon as she spoke her wish, the enchanted lantern glowed brightly, and a warm, comforting light filled the cavern. The light seemed to flow through Mira, filling her with a sense of peace and joy. A magical return. When Mira returned to Lumina, she was greeted with astonishment and celebration. The village was flourishing like never before, crops were bountiful, the rivers sparkled with clarity, and the lanterns floated higher and brighter than ever. Mira's bravery and selflessness had brought immense joy and prosperity to her village. The villagers celebrated with a grand festival, lighting lanterns that soared into the night sky, each one carrying a piece of their gratitude and love. A lasting legacy. The story of Mira and the enchanted lantern became a cherished tale in Lumina. Mira was remembered not just as a brave adventurer but as a beacon of hope and kindness. The locket she had used on her journey was placed in a special place in the village square, a reminder of the magic that lies in every act of selflessness and every wish made from the heart. And so, the village of Lumina continued to shine brightly under the light of its lanterns, forever guided by the courage and kindness of a young girl who had sought to bring happiness to her world. Once upon a time, in a land far beyond the reach of ordinary maps, there was a hidden kingdom known as Starlight. This kingdom was unique because it floated among the stars in the night sky. Its streets were made of stardust, its castles of moonlight, and its gardens were filled with glowing flowers that bloomed only under the celestial canopy. The ruler of Starlight was a wise and gentle queen named Seraphina. She had a magical scepter that could command the stars and control the light of the moon. Under her reign, the kingdom thrived in peace and harmony, and its inhabitants, the starfolk, were happy and content. But one day, a dark shadow fell over Starlight. The light of the moon began to wane, and the once brilliant stars started to dim. The magic of the kingdom was fading, and the once vibrant gardens began to wither. Queen Seraphina, deeply worried, called upon her most trusted advisor, a wise old owl named Orion. Orion, with his feathers that sparkled like tiny constellations, advised the queen of an ancient prophecy: when the light of the kingdom fades, a brave soul must embark on a quest to restore it. They must find the lost star crystal, hidden in the depths of the celestial caverns. Only the pure-hearted can succeed in this quest. Queen Seraphina, although troubled, knew that the fate of her kingdom depended on this quest. She decided to seek out a hero who could undertake this journey. After careful consideration, she chose a young starfolk named Lyra. Lyra was known for her kindness, bravery, and unwavering spirit. She had always been curious about the world beyond the kingdom and had often dreamed of adventures among the stars. Lyra was honored and a bit nervous as she accepted the queen's request. She prepared for her journey by packing a small bag with essential supplies, a star map, a lantern made of moonlight, and a locket given to her by her mother that was said to protect its bearer from harm. As the night sky glittered with stars, Lyra set out on her journey. She followed the map Orion had given her, which led her to a shimmering portal hidden within the largest star in the sky. With a deep breath and a hopeful heart, Lyra stepped through the portal and into the celestial caverns. The celestial caverns were a vast network of glowing crystals and shimmering streams of stardust. The air was filled with a gentle hum, and the walls sparkled like 1,000 diamonds. As Lyra ventured deeper, she encountered the first challenge of her quest, a labyrinth of twisting tunnels and glowing illusions. To navigate the labyrinth, Lyra relied on her star map and the guidance of her lantern, which illuminated the correct path. She used her wits and intuition to avoid the illusions and find her way through the maze. With perseverance and patience, she reached the heart of the labyrinth, where the second challenge awaited. In the center of the cavern stood a massive stone door adorned with intricate carvings of stars and moons. The door was locked, and a riddle was inscribed upon it: "I am not alive, but I grow. I don't have lungs, but I need air. I don't have a mouth, but water kills me. What am I?" Lyra pondered the riddle and thought about the nature of the celestial caverns. After a moment, she realized the answer: fire. She spoke the word aloud, and the stone door slowly creaked open, revealing the final challenge. Inside, Lyra found the star crystal resting upon a pedestal of stardust. However, the crystal was surrounded by a swirling vortex of dark energy. To retrieve the crystal, Lyra needed to dispel the darkness. With determination, Lyra took out the locket her mother had given her and held it up towards the vortex. The locket began to glow with a warm, soothing light that pushed back the darkness. As the dark energy dissipated, the star crystal became accessible. Lyra carefully took the star crystal and felt its warm, pulsating energy. She knew that the journey back to Starlight would be just as challenging. As she made her way through the caverns, she noticed the crystals and streams of stardust shining more brightly, as if acknowledging her success. When Lyra returned to Starlight, the kingdom was still shrouded in dim light. She approached Queen Seraphina and presented the star crystal. The queen held the crystal up to the sky, and its light began to radiate across the kingdom. The darkness lifted, and the stars sparkled once more. the gardens bloomed with vibrant colors, and the magic of starlight was restored. The starfolk rejoiced, celebrating Lyra's bravery and the return of their kingdom's light. Queen Seraphina thanked Lyra for her courage and dedication, and the people of Starlight hailed her as a hero. Lyra's adventure became a legend among the stars, a tale of courage, perseverance, and the power of a pure heart. And so, the kingdom of Starlight continued to shine brightly in the night sky, a beacon of hope and magic for all who looked up and believed in the wonders of the universe. The end. The clockmaker's secret. In a quaint village nestled between rolling hills and lush forests, there was a clockmaker named Tobias. His shop, filled with the soft ticking of clocks and the gentle hum of gears, was renowned for its intricate timepieces. But hidden among the many clocks was a special one, known only to Tobias, the timekeeper's clock. The timekeeper's clock was a masterpiece, with delicate engravings and a face that seemed to shimmer with a golden light. Tobias kept it hidden from view, knowing its magic was more than just mechanical. It was said that the clock could control time itself, but only for someone with a true heart and noble purpose. A visitor from afar. One day, a young woman named Amelia arrived in the village. She was a wanderer who had traveled from a distant land, searching for something she could not quite name. Amelia was drawn to Tobias's shop by an inexplicable feeling, as if the clocks themselves were calling to her. Tobias greeted her warmly and, sensing her deep curiosity and kindness, decided to show her the timekeeper's clock. Amelia's eyes widened as she saw the clock's golden face. "What is this clock story?" she asked. Tobias smiled gently. "This is the timekeeper's clock. It holds the power to control time, but only for those who seek to make the world a better place. It has been hidden away for many years, waiting for someone with a pure heart to come along." The timekeeper's challenge. Amelia felt a surge of hope and determination. She had heard tales of a land plagued by eternal night, where the sun had not risen for years. The people there were suffering, and she wanted to help. Tobias, seeing the resolve in her eyes, gave her a small key. "This key will unlock the timekeeper's clock," Tobias explained. "But remember, time is a delicate thing. Use its power wisely." Amelia took the key and made her way to the land of eternal night. As she traveled, she could feel the weight of the darkness pressing in around her. The once beautiful land was now a shadow of its former self, with wilting trees and silent fields. Unlocking the magic at the heart of the land was a grand clock tower, its hands frozen in time. Amelia approached the tower and used the key to unlock the timekeeper's clock, which she had brought with her. The clock's golden face began to glow softly, and the hands started to move. As the hands ticked forward, a magical light spread across the land. The darkness began to recede, and the first rays of dawn broke through the sky. The land, once shrouded in night, was bathed in the warm, golden light of sunrise. Flowers bloomed, and the fields came alive with vibrant colors. The people of the land emerged from their homes, their faces filled with wonder and joy. They gathered around Amelia, thanking her for bringing back the light. She explained that it was the timekeeper's clock that had restored the sun, and that she had only been its messenger. The gift of time. The villagers celebrated the return of day, and Amelia was honored for her bravery and kindness. The timekeeper's clock, having fulfilled its purpose, began to dim. But before it faded completely, it bestowed a final gift upon Amelia, a small hourglass filled with sparkling sand. "This hourglass will allow you to return to this land whenever it is needed," Tobias had said. "And remember, the true power of time lies not in controlling it, but in using it to help others." With the hourglass in hand, Amelia bid farewell to the villagers and returned to her own land. She continued her travels, using her newfound wisdom and the hourglass's magic to aid those in need and spread light wherever she went. The legacy of the timekeeper's clock. Tobias's shop became a place of legend, with many seeking the wisdom of the timekeeper's clock. Though the clock itself remained hidden, its story inspired countless others to use their time and talents for the greater good. Amelia's tale was told far and wide, reminding people that time, like any gift, is most valuable when used to bring hope and joy to others. the land of eternal night was transformed into a place of perpetual day, a testament to the power of kindness and the magic of the timekeeper's clock. And so, the legend of the timekeeper's clock lived on, a shining example of how even the smallest actions can have a profound impact on the world. Once upon a time, in a faraway kingdom called Eldoria, there was a village named Amberwood, nestled at the edge of the Whispering Forest. Amberwood was a place where magic was interwoven with daily life, and the villagers lived in harmony with the enchanted creatures of the forest. The heart of this village was a curious and brave girl named Elara, who had a special bond with the animals and plants around her. Elara lived with her grandparents, who were known as the keepers of the forest. Her grandmother, Arwen, was a healer with profound knowledge of herbal medicine, and her grandfather, Finian, was a storyteller who knew the ancient legends of their land. One evening, Finian told Elara a tale about the legendary Crystal of Light, a powerful gem that had the ability to dispel darkness and bring prosperity. The crystal was said to be hidden in the heart of the Whispering Forest, protected by powerful enchantments and magical creatures. The next morning, a dark cloud cast a shadow over Amberwood, and the village's once bright and lively atmosphere grew gloomy. The crops began to wither, and a chilling wind blew through the village. The elders convened and concluded that the only way to save Amberwood was to find the Crystal of Light. Inspired by her grandfather's stories, Elara volunteered to embark on this perilous journey. Her loyal companion, a clever and resourceful fox named Rusty, decided to join her. With a heart full of courage, Elara and Rusty set off into the Whispering Forest. The trees whispered ancient secrets, and the air was filled with the scent of pine and earth. As they ventured deeper, they encountered their first challenge, a wide, mist-covered lake with no visible way across. As they pondered their predicament, a graceful swan glided towards them. "To cross this lake, you must answer my riddle," the swan said. "What has roots that nobody sees, is taller than trees, up it goes, and yet never grows." Elara thought for a moment and then replied, "A mountain." The swan nodded and flapped its wings, creating a shimmering bridge of light across the lake. Elara and Rusty crossed safely and continued their journey. Soon, they arrived at a dense thicket where the path was blocked by thorny vines. An old, wise owl perched on a branch above them, watching with keen eyes. "To pass through this thicket, you must show your wisdom," the owl hooted. "What can fill a room but takes up no space?" Elara smiled and answered, "Light." The owl nodded approvingly, and the thorny vines parted, revealing a clear path. As they walked through, they reached a beautiful meadow where a unicorn with a silvery mane stood, its horn glowing faintly. "My magic is fading, and I can no longer guard the Crystal of Light," the unicorn said. "To find the crystal, you must show compassion. Can you help me?" Elara, remembering her grandmother's teachings, gathered herbs and created a healing potion. She offered it to the unicorn, who drank it gratefully. Immediately, the unicorn's strength was restored, and it shone with radiant light. "You have shown great kindness," the unicorn said. "Climb on my back, and I will take you to the Crystal of Light." Elara and Rusty climbed onto the unicorn's back, and in a flash of light, they were transported to a hidden glade. At the center of the glade stood a magnificent crystal pedestal, upon which rested the Crystal of Light, glowing with an ethereal brilliance. However, as Elara approached the crystal, a dark figure emerged from the shadows. It was Morwen, a sorceress who sought to claim the crystal's power for herself. "You cannot take the crystal," Morwen snarled, her eyes blazing with malice. "It belongs to me." Elara stood her ground, her heart pounding but her resolve unwavering. The Crystal of Light belongs to those who wish to use its power for good, not for darkness. Morwen raised her staff, ready to cast a spell, but Rusty darted forward and knocked the staff from her hands. In the ensuing struggle, Elara seized the Crystal of Light and held it high. A brilliant light burst forth, dispelling the shadows and banishing Morwen from the glade. With the crystal in her hands, Elara made a wish. "I wish for the darkness over Amberwood to be lifted and for our village to thrive once more." The Crystal of Light glowed brightly, and a wave of magic spread throughout the land. The dark cloud over Amberwood dissipated, the crops flourished, and the village was filled with light and warmth once again. Ilara and Rusty returned to Amberwood as heroes, greeted with cheers and celebrations. The Crystal of Light was placed in a special shrine in the village, where its magic could continue to protect and nourish the land. Ilara's bravery and kindness were remembered for generations, her story inspiring others to act with courage and compassion. And so, the village of Amberwood thrived under the watchful eyes of its brave young hero, living happily ever after. Once upon a time, in a quaint village called Meadowbrook, there lived a young girl named Emma. Meadowbrook was a charming place, surrounded by lush green fields and sparkling streams. At the center of the village was an ancient, majestic oak tree, under which stood an old, abandoned well. Legend had it that the well held a magical silver bell, which could grant one wish to a pure-hearted person. Emma was a kind and adventurous girl, known for her gentle spirit and her love of stories. Every evening, she would sit by the well and listen to the tales told by the village elders. One night, as she gazed at the stars, she decided to find the silver bell to help her village, which had been suffering from a long drought. The next morning, Emma set off on her journey. She took a small satchel with some food, a water bottle, and a tiny, worn-out map that had been passed down in her family for generations. According to the map, the bell was hidden deep within the Whispering Woods, a mysterious forest filled with magical creatures and hidden dangers. As Emma ventured into the forest, the trees seemed to whisper secrets and songs. She followed the map's directions carefully, but soon found herself at a crossroads. Unsure of which path to take, she sat down to think. Suddenly, a gentle voice spoke from behind her. "Lost, are you?" asked a wise old rabbit named Thistle, who had lived in the forest for many years. Emma explained her quest, and Thistle, seeing her determination, decided to help. "The path you seek is not an easy one," Thistle said. "But with courage and a kind heart, you will find your way." Together, they walked deeper into the forest, facing many challenges. They crossed the glimmering stream, where they met Luna, a playful otter who helped them navigate the swift waters. They trekked through the moonlit meadow, where fireflies lit their way and guided them through the thick mist. One day, as they were resting near a shimmering pond, a beautiful fairy named Seraphina appeared. "I know of your quest, Emma," she said, her wings sparkling like diamonds. "The silver bell is hidden in the heart of the forest, guarded by the ancient tree spirit, Ilarion. Only those who show true bravery and selflessness can earn his trust." Seraphina gifted Emma a small, enchanted lantern. "This will light your way and protect you from harm," she said. With the lantern in hand, Emma, Thistle, and Luna continued their journey. They finally reached the heart of the forest, where a grand, ancient tree stood tall. Its branches stretched out like welcoming arms, and its leaves whispered with age-old wisdom. From the shadows emerged Ilarion, the tree spirit, his eyes glowing with a gentle, green light. "Who dares to seek the silver bell?" he asked in a deep, resonant voice. Emma stepped forward and told Ilarion about her village's plight and her wish to bring rain to end the drought. Ilarion listened intently, sensing the sincerity in her heart. "To prove your worth," Ilarion said, "you must face a final trial. In the hollow of reflection, you will confront your deepest fears and doubts. Only by overcoming them can you find the bell." Emma entered the hollow of reflection, holding the enchanted lantern. Inside, she saw visions of her fears and insecurities. She faced the darkness with courage, remembering the love and support of her friends and family. The lantern's light grew brighter, dispelling the shadows. At the center of the hollow, she found the silver bell, glowing with a soft, silvery light. As she picked it up, a wave of warmth and hope washed over her. Emma returned to Ilarion, who smiled approvingly. "You have proven yourself, Emma," he said. "Take the bell and fulfill your wish." Emma, Thistle, and Luna journeyed back to Meadowbrook. Upon her return, the villagers gathered around the ancient well. With a heart full of hope, Emma rang the silver bell. The sound was pure and melodious, echoing across the fields. Almost immediately, dark clouds gathered, and a gentle rain began to fall. The drought ended, and the fields turned green and lush once more. The villagers rejoiced, grateful for Emma's bravery and kindness. The silver bell was placed in a special shrine near the well, a symbol of hope and the power of a pure heart. Emma's name became legend, and Meadowbrook flourished under her loving care. And so, Emma lived a life full of adventure and joy, always guided by her kind heart and the love of her village. And they all lived happily ever after. I hope you enjoyed this fairy tale. Once upon a time, in a village nestled between rolling hills and the sparkling river, there was a curious girl named Elara who loved exploring the woods. One sunny afternoon, as Elara wandered deeper into the forest than ever before, she stumbled upon an old, ivy-covered gate entwined with flowers that shimmered in every color of the rainbow. The gate was locked, but Elara noticed a tiny key hanging from a branch nearby. She took the key, and as it fit perfectly into the gate's lock, a soft click echoed through the forest. The gate creaked open to reveal a hidden garden beyond, a place she had never seen. The garden was a magical wonderland. Tall, ancient trees with leaves that glistened like diamonds formed a canopy overhead. The air was filled with the sweet scent of blooming flowers, and in the center of the garden was a large, sparkling pond. On the pond floated lily pads, each adorned with glowing golden flowers. Elara approached the pond and saw a small, delicate fairy sitting on a lily pad, her wings sparkling like the stars. The fairy looked up and smiled. "Welcome, Elara. I am Lyra, the guardian of this enchanted garden. You have unlocked the gate to a place few have ever seen." Elara was amazed. "How do you know my name?" Lyra giggled. "The garden knows all who enter. We have been waiting for someone with a kind heart and brave spirit. There is a special quest I need your help with." "What is it?" Elara asked eagerly. "The magical balance of our garden is disrupted," Lyra explained. "A dark shadow has stolen the heart of the garden, a crystal that keeps our world flourishing. Without it, the garden will wilt and fade. We need to retrieve it before the garden's magic is lost forever." Elara's eyes widened. "How can I help?" Lyra handed her a map made of shimmering leaves. "Follow this map to the Cavern of Echoes. The heart of the garden is hidden there, guarded by a riddle that only the pure of heart can solve." With determination in her eyes, Elara set off on her quest. The map led her through dense thickets and over babbling brooks. After a long journey, she reached the entrance to the Cavern of Echoes, a grand, dark cave with sparkling stalactites. Inside, the cavern was filled with echoes of past voices, creating a mystical ambience. In the center of the cavern stood a pedestal with a golden box on it. A note lay beside it, inscribed with the riddle, "I am not alive, yet I grow. I do not have lungs, yet I need air. I do not have a mouth, yet water kills me. What am I?" Elara thought carefully. She remembered her adventures and the things she had seen. Then it hit her, the answer was fire. She spoke the word aloud, and the golden box opened, revealing the heart of the garden, glowing with a warm, comforting light. With the heart of the garden in hand, Elara returned to the enchanted garden. Lyra was waiting by the pond, her wings fluttering with excitement. Elara placed the heart back in its rightful place, and a wave of vibrant energy spread through the garden. Flowers bloomed even more brightly, and the trees seemed to dance in the gentle breeze. "Thank you, Elara," Lyra said, tears of joy sparkling in her eyes. "You have saved our garden and restored its magic." Elara smiled, feeling a sense of accomplishment and wonder. "I'm glad I could help. This garden is truly amazing." Lyra gave her a small, glowing flower as a token of gratitude. "Whenever you need a bit of magic, just think of this flower, and it will guide you back here." Elara bid farewell to Lyra and the enchanted garden, knowing she had been part of something truly special. As she left the forest and returned to her village, she carried the memory of her adventure and the glowing flower as a reminder of the magic that existed in the world, just waiting to be discovered. And so, Elara's days were filled with wonder and joy, knowing that sometimes, the most magical things are found in the places we least expect. The end. Once upon a time, in a land where the trees whispered secrets and the stars twinkled like diamonds, there was a hidden glade known as the Whispering Glade. It was said that this glade was enchanted by a magical song that had the power to grant a single wish to those who truly believed in the magic of their hearts. In the village of Fernwood, nestled on the edge of the Whispering Glade, lived a young boy named Finn. Finn was known for his boundless curiosity and his love for exploring the wonders of nature. He had heard the tales of the enchanted song but had never ventured into the glade himself. The villagers often spoke of the magical song, but no one had ever heard it, as it was said to reveal itself only to those who were pure of heart. One crisp autumn evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon and the sky was painted in hues of orange and pink, Finn decided it was time to discover the truth about the Whispering Glade. With a small lantern in hand and a heart full of hope, he set off towards the glade. As Finn entered the Whispering Glade, he was greeted by a soft, melodic hum that seemed to drift through the air. The trees, their leaves shimmering in the moonlight, swayed gently as if dancing to the rhythm of the song. The glade was bathed in a silver glow, and the air was filled with a sense of peace and magic. Finn followed the sound of the song, his footsteps light on the soft, moss-covered ground. As he ventured deeper into the glade, he came upon a circle of ancient stones arranged in a perfect ring. In the center of the ring was a small, crystal-clear pool, its surface reflecting the light of the moon like a mirror. The song grew louder and more enchanting as Finn approached the pool. He looked into the water and saw not only his own reflection but also the shimmering outlines of figures and creatures that seemed to dance just beneath the surface. The magical song seemed to emanate from the pool itself. Finn knelt by the pool and closed his eyes, allowing the music to wash over him. As he listened, he began to feel a deep sense of calm and connection to the world around him. He thought of his village and the troubles they faced, crops that had failed, a drought that had withered the land, and the struggles of his friends and family. With a heart full of sincerity, Finn made a wish. "I wish for the prosperity and happiness of my village," he whispered to the glade. "I want everyone in Fernwood to find joy and well-being." As Finn spoke, the waters of the pool began to glow with a soft, golden light. The enchanting song reached a crescendo, and the glade was filled with a warm, radiant energy. The golden light from the pool spread outwards, enveloping the trees, the stones, and the very air itself. Finn watched in awe as the magic of the Whispering Glade began to work. The golden light traveled beyond the glade, reaching Fernwood. It touched the fields, reviving the crops, and filled the rivers with crystal-clear water. The villagers awoke the next morning to find their land transformed, with lush greenery and bountiful harvests. When Finn returned to Fernwood, he was greeted with astonishment and joy. The villagers marveled at the sudden change in their fortunes and celebrated the newfound prosperity. Finn shared his adventure and the wish he had made at the Whispering Glade. The villagers were filled with gratitude and wonder. They realized that the magic of the Whispering Glade was real and that Finn's pure heart had brought about the transformation they so desperately needed. From that day on, the Whispering Glade became a cherished place of pilgrimage for the villagers. They would visit the glade to honor the magic that had blessed their lives and to celebrate the power of selflessness and belief. And so, the legend of the Whispering Glade and Finn's enchanted song became a beloved tale in Fernwood, reminding everyone that the true magic of the world lies in the kindness of the heart and the power of believing in the impossible. The end. Once upon a time, in a quaint village nestled between rolling hills and the sparkling river, there was a magical garden known as the Moonlit Garden. This garden was said to be enchanted, blooming only under the light of the full moon. Its flowers were renowned for their vibrant colors and sweet fragrances, which brought peace and joy to anyone who visited. The caretaker of this magical place was a young woman named Alara. She had grown up in the village and had always been fascinated by the stories of the Moonlit Garden's wonders. Her grandmother had passed down the knowledge of the garden's secrets, and now Alara tended to it with love and dedication. One evening, as the full moon rose high in the sky, Alara noticed something unusual. Amidst the familiar glow of the garden's flowers, a single, unusual flower had appeared. It was a deep shade of blue, shimmering with an otherworldly light. Alara had never seen anything like it before. As she approached the mysterious flower, a soft voice echoed through the garden. "Thank you for finding me," it said. Elara looked around but saw no one. "Who's there?" she asked, her voice trembling slightly. The voice continued, "I am Lysander, a guardian of the moonlit garden. I have been waiting for someone with a pure heart to help me break a spell that has bound me to this garden." Elara was astonished. "A spell? How can I help?" Lysander explained that long ago, he had been transformed into a flower by a wicked sorcerer who sought to control the garden's magic. The only way to break the spell was to gather 3 magical ingredients from the far corners of the land. 1. The golden feather from the peak of the Whispering Mountains. 2. The tear of a star from the depths of the celestial lake. 3. The heart of the evergreen tree from the heart of the ancient forest. Determined to help Lysander, Elara set off on her quest. She traveled first to the Whispering Mountains, where the winds carried whispers of ancient secrets. After a challenging climb, she found a golden feather nestled in a nest high atop the peak. The feather shimmered with a warm, golden light. Next, Elara journeyed to the Celestial Lake, a serene and magical place where the water sparkled like diamonds. She waited patiently as the stars reflected on the water's surface. Eventually, a single tear fell from the sky and landed in the lake, turning into a luminous, glowing tear. Her final destination was the ancient forest, where the evergreen tree stood tall and proud. Elara approached the tree with reverence and discovered a hidden chamber within its trunk. Inside was a radiant heart, pulsing with a gentle, green light. With the 3 magical ingredients in hand, Elara returned to the moonlit garden. Under the light of the full moon, she placed the golden feather, the tear of the star, and the heart of the evergreen tree around Lysander's flower. As she did so, the garden was filled with a brilliant light, and Lysander's form began to shimmer and transform. In a flash of light, Lysander appeared before her, no longer a flower but a tall, graceful figure with an aura of gentle light. He thanked Elara for her bravery and kindness. "You have broken the spell and restored the garden's magic," he said. Elara smiled, relieved and happy. "I'm glad I could help. The moonlit garden is truly a special place." Lysander nodded. "And now, you are its new guardian. The garden's magic will be safe with you." From that night on, Elara continued to care for the moonlit garden, ensuring its magic flourished under the light of the full moon. The garden remained a place of wonder and tranquility, cherished by all who visited. And so, the moonlit garden thrived, its blooms glowing brightly with the magic of friendship, bravery, and the gentle light of the moon. The end. Once upon a time, in the magical kingdom of Alicia, there was a village named Starfall, nestled in a valley where the stars seemed to fall from the sky every night. The village was surrounded by lush forests and crystal-clear lakes, and the people lived in harmony with nature and each other. The stars were believed to be the tears of Celestia, the star goddess, who watched over the land from her celestial palace. Among the villagers was a young boy named Leo, known for his boundless curiosity and adventurous spirit. Leo loved exploring the forests and lakes, and he often dreamt of visiting Celestia's palace. His grandmother, a wise woman named Aria, told him stories of the Starlit Key, a magical artifact that could unlock the gates to the Celestial Palace. According to legend, the key was hidden in the heart of the enchanted woods, guarded by ancient beings and protected by powerful enchantments. One fateful night, a strange darkness fell over Starfall. The stars stopped falling, and the villagers grew anxious, fearing that Celestia had turned her back on them. Desperate to restore the starry blessings, Leo decided to seek the Starlit Key and venture to Celestia's palace to find out what had happened. With his grandmother's blessing and a small satchel of provisions, Leo set out at dawn. He followed the ancient path that led to the enchanted woods, determined to find the key and save his village. As he entered the woods, the trees whispered secrets of the past, and the air was filled with a sense of magic and mystery. Leo's first challenge came when he encountered a shimmering, golden gate guarded by a majestic griffin. The griffin's eyes sparkled like diamonds as it spoke, "To pass this gate, you must solve the riddle of the stars. What shines brightest in the darkest hour?" Leo thought for a moment, recalling his grandmother's stories. "Hope," he answered confidently. The griffin nodded in approval, and the gate swung open, allowing Leo to continue his journey. As Leo ventured deeper into the woods, he came upon a tranquil, moonlit glade where a beautiful unicorn was trapped in a web of thorny vines. The unicorn's eyes pleaded for help. Leo approached carefully and used his knife to cut the vines, freeing the unicorn. In gratitude, the unicorn gifted Leo a single, silver strand from its mane, saying, "This will guide you when you're lost." The next challenge came at a shimmering lake guarded by a wise old owl named Orion. Orion perched on a branch and hooted, "To cross the lake, you must answer my question. What is more precious than gold but cannot be bought or sold?" Leo smiled, remembering his grandmother's teachings. "Friendship," he replied. Orion flapped his wings in approval, and a path of glowing lily pads appeared, allowing Leo to cross the lake safely. Finally, Leo reached a towering, ancient tree at the heart of the enchanted woods. At its base was a small, intricately carved chest, guarded by a shadowy figure. The figure spoke in a voice like the rustling leaves, "To claim the Starlit Key, you must prove your heart's purity. Place your hand on the chest and let it read your soul." Leo placed his hand on the chest, and it glowed with a soft, golden light. The shadowy figure nodded and vanished, leaving the chest unlocked. Inside, Leo found the Starlit Key, a beautiful, star-shaped artifact that shimmered with celestial light. With the key in hand, Leo made his way back to Starfall. As he approached the village, the stars began to reappear in the sky, and the villagers gathered to welcome him home. His grandmother, tears of joy in her eyes, embraced him tightly. "You've done it, Leo," Arya said. "Now you must visit Celestia's palace and discover why the stars stopped falling." That night, Leo used the Starlit Key to unlock a hidden portal at the top of the highest hill in Starfall. The portal glowed with an ethereal light, and Leo stepped through, finding himself in the Celestial Palace, a place of breathtaking beauty and wonder. In the heart of the palace, Leo found Celestia, the star goddess, surrounded by a dark, swirling mist. "Why have you stopped the stars from falling?" Leo asked, his voice echoing in the vast chamber. Celestia looked at him with sorrowful eyes. "A dark force has been draining my power, causing the stars to fade. But your pure heart and brave spirit have brought hope to this realm." Leo, remembering the silver strand from the unicorn, used it to dispel the dark mist. As the mist vanished, Celestia's light grew brighter, and the stars began to shine once more. In gratitude, Celestia gifted Leo a star pendant, a symbol of her eternal blessing. Leo returned to Starfall, the star pendant glowing around his neck. The villagers rejoiced, celebrating his bravery and the return of the stars. From that day on, Leo was known as the Star Keeper, and his tale was told for generations, inspiring others to seek adventure and protect the magic of their world. And so, the kingdom of Alicia lived happily ever after, forever grateful for the courage and heart of a young boy named Leo, who brought the stars back to their sky. The end. In the heart of the whispering woods, where the trees spoke secrets and the streams sang lullabies, there lay a hidden kingdom called Celestra. This enchanted realm was home to mystical creatures and radiant flowers that bloomed in every color of the rainbow. At the kingdom's center was a grand castle, ruled by a benevolent king named Alden and his wise queen, Elara. One day, the skies darkened as a mysterious cloud settled over Celestra. The flowers began to wilt, the streams lost their sparkle, and a heavy silence fell upon the kingdom. The cause of this strange malaise was a fierce dragon named Pirion, who lived on the mountain's peak. Pirion had always been a guardian of the land, but now he seemed to have lost his fiery spirit and joy. The king and queen, desperate to restore harmony, summoned their daughter, Princess Amara. Known for her kindness and bravery, Amara was determined to uncover the source of Pirion's sorrow and restore the kingdom's light. The journey to the mountain. With a heart full of hope and a bag of provisions, Princess Amara set out towards Pirion's mountain. She traveled through lush forests and across sparkling streams, guided by the gentle whispers of the forest. Along the way, she met an old wise tortoise named Thorn, who offered her guidance. The dragon's sorrow lies not in the land but in the heart of the dragon himself, Thorn said. Pirian used to sing a melody that could light up the darkest of skies. Find this melody, and you may restore his spirit. The Mountain's Challenge. As Amara reached the base of Pirian's mountain, she noticed the dragon's lair was surrounded by a swirling mist. Pirian's roars echoed through the mist, filled with a deep sadness. Amara took a deep breath and entered the cave. Inside, Pirian lay curled up, his scales dull and his breath no longer fiery. Seeing Amara, Pirian raised his head weakly. "Why have you come?" he asked. "I've come to help," Amara said gently. "The kingdom is suffering because of your sorrow. I want to understand what has happened and how I can help." The Tale of the Lost Melody. Pirian sighed deeply. "Once, I sang a melody that brought light and life to Celestra. But I lost the ability to sing when I misplaced my special crystal, the Heartstone, which gives my voice its magic. Without it, the melody is lost, and so is my joy." Amara listened with sympathy. "If you tell me where you lost it, I will help you find it." Pirian explained that he had dropped the Heartstone in the Enchanted Grove, a mystical place where the trees were known to be alive and the paths constantly shifted. The Enchanted Grove. Amara ventured into the Enchanted Grove, where the trees indeed seemed to move and whisper among themselves. She searched high and low, guided by the faint echo of Pirian's lost melody that still lingered in the air. After much searching, Amara encountered a playful fairy named Lyra, who was known to guard the grove's secrets. Lyra fluttered around Amara and, sensing her kindness, agreed to help her find the Heartstone. "The Heartstone is hidden among the Tree of Echoes," Lyra said. "But to retrieve it, you must prove that your heart is true and kind." Lyra presented Amara with a challenge, a puzzle that required her to arrange shimmering leaves into a pattern that reflected the essence of kindness and light. With thoughtful care and a loving heart, Amara completed the puzzle, and the leaves formed a brilliant, glowing image of Pirian's lost melody. The Restoration. The Tree of Echoes, touched by Amara's pure heart, revealed the Heartstone nestled within its branches. Amara carefully retrieved it and returned to Pirian's lair. Upon receiving the Heartstone, Pirian's eyes lit up with gratitude. With the Heartstone in place, Pirian began to sing the melody that had once brought light to the kingdom. The song filled the air with vibrant energy, and the skies above Celestra cleared, revealing a dazzling display of stars. The flowers in the kingdom began to bloom again. The stream sparkled with renewed brilliance, and joy returned to the hearts of the people. Pirian's one-stem scales now glowed with fiery brilliance, and he roared a triumphant, joyful roar that echoed across the land. The Celebration. Princess Amara returned to the castle, where the king and queen greeted her with immense pride. The kingdom celebrated her bravery and kindness with a grand feast, and Pirian joined the festivities, his song continuing to fill the air with magic and joy. From that day forward, Pirian's melody became a cherished part of the kingdom's heritage, a symbol of hope and restoration. Celestra thrived, and its people never forgot the lesson that even the darkest times could be brightened. Once upon a time, in the heart of the evergreen forest, there was a hidden village called Harmony Hollow. This village was renowned for its beautiful music, thanks to a magical harp that resided in the village square. The harp was said to have been crafted by the fairies themselves, and its music could soothe even the wildest of beasts and bring peace to the most troubled souls. The keeper of the harp was an elderly woman named Eloan. She had lived in Harmony Hollow for as long as anyone could remember and had a special bond with the harp. Every evening, she would play enchanting melodies that drifted through the forest, spreading calm and joy to all who heard it. One winter, a great storm swept through the land. The winds howled, the snow piled high, and the forest grew dark and foreboding. As the storm raged on, a dark shadow fell over Harmony Hollow, and the magical harp strings went silent. Eloan tried to play, but the harp refused to sing. The villagers grew anxious and disheartened, fearing that the magic of their beloved harp had been lost forever. One young girl, Lyra, who loved the harp more than anything, decided she must find out what had happened. She believed that the harp's silence was a sign of a greater problem and that she needed to help restore its magic. With a heart full of courage and hope, Lyra set out on a quest to discover the truth behind the harp's silence. Lyra journeyed deep into the forest, guided by the faint echoes of the harp's last psalm. As she walked, she encountered various creatures, squirrels, owls, and even a wise old deer, each of whom offered clues and advice. They all pointed her toward the Crystal Cavern, a mystical place rumored to hold ancient secrets and great power. The path to the Crystal Cavern was treacherous, with icy winds and towering snowdrifts. But Lyra pressed on, determined to help her village and the harp she cherished. After a long and arduous journey, she finally reached the entrance of the cavern. Inside, the cavern sparkled with crystals of every color, reflecting the faint light from Lyra's lantern. At the heart of the cavern, she discovered a grand, ancient tree with branches that glistened like diamonds. Beneath the tree lay a slumbering, silver dragon, its scales shimmering with a soft, ethereal light. The dragon awoke as Lyra approached, its eyes filled with both wisdom and sorrow. "Welcome, brave Lyra," the dragon said in a deep, melodic voice. "I am Draconis, the guardian of the Crystal Cavern. I have been waiting for someone with a pure heart to help restore balance to the forest." Lyra explained the plight of Harmony Hollow and the silence of the magical harp. Draconis listened intently and then spoke. "The storm that has befallen your village is the result of a curse placed upon the harp by a jealous sorcerer who sought to steal its magic. To break the curse, you must retrieve 3 magical items from the cavern." Draconis guided Lyra to 3 hidden locations within the cavern. 1. The luminous blossom *, a glowing flower that could only be found in the deepest part of the cavern. Lyra discovered it growing amidst a bed of shimmering stones, its petals radiating a soft, healing light. 2. The echoing shell *, a conch shell that held the power to amplify and restore lost magic. It was nestled among the crystal formations, its surface gleaming with a silvery sheen. 3. The eternal flame *, a small, enchanted flame that never extinguished. It was housed within a delicate crystal vial, glowing with an inner fire. With the 3 items in hand, Lyra returned to Harmony Hollow. The storm had worsened, and the village was on the brink of despair. But Lyra was determined to restore the harp's magic. She approached the silent harp with the luminous blossom, the echoing shell, and the eternal flame. As Lyra placed the items near the harp, the flower's glow began to merge with the harp's frame, the shell amplified the whispers of magic, and the flame sparked a renewed light within the harp's strings. The harp trembled and then sang a powerful, melodious tune that filled the village with warmth and hope. The storm began to dissipate, and the clouds parted to reveal the sun. The villagers emerged from their homes, their faces lighting up with joy and relief as the harp's music filled the air once more. They gathered around Lyra, thanking her for her bravery and the restoration of their beloved harp. Iloan, moved by Lyra's courage, praised her as the true hero of Harmony Hollow. The harp resumed its role as the heart of the village, its music now more magical and enchanting than ever. The village thrived, and Lyra became a symbol of hope and perseverance. Once upon a time, in a quaint village surrounded by rolling hills and lush meadows, there lived a skilled clockmaker named Mr. Thorne. His shop was filled with intricate timepieces that ticked and talked in harmony. Among these was a mysterious clock that never seemed to tick quite right. It was said to be a magical clock with a secret that could only be unlocked by someone with a pure heart. Mr. Thorne had an apprentice named Eleanor, a bright and curious young woman with a love for clockmaking. She had been working alongside Mr. Thorne for many years, learning the art of crafting timepieces and understanding the delicate mechanisms that made them work. Despite her skill, Eleanor had always been intrigued by the old clock and its mysterious nature. One crisp autumn evening, as the golden leaves danced in the breeze, Mr. Thorne fell ill. He knew that Eleanor was ready to take on more responsibility, so he entrusted her with the care of his shop and, most importantly, the secret of the old clock. "Eleanor," he said, "the time has come for you to uncover the mystery of the old clock. It has a magic that has been waiting for the right person to set it free. I believe you have the heart to do so." Eleanor accepted the challenge with determination. She studied the old clock closely, noting its ornate carvings and the delicate, intricate gears that lay hidden behind its face. The clock had no hands and no numbers, only a shimmering, star-shaped design in the center. Despite her efforts, the clock remained still, offering no clues. One night, as the full moon cast a silvery glow over the village, Eleanor decided to stay up and work on the clock. As she tinkered with it, she noticed a faint, melodic hum coming from its inner workings. The sound was soothing and rhythmic, like a lullaby. Determined to unlock the clock's secret, Eleanor followed the melody, which seemed to guide her hands as she adjusted the gears and springs. The clock's star-shaped design began to glow softly, revealing a hidden compartment. Inside the compartment was a small, ornate key with an inscription: "To find the heart of the clock, listen to its song." Eleanor realized that the clock's magic was linked to its melody. She listened closely to the hum and found that each part of the clock seemed to have its own unique note. By carefully tuning the gears to match the melody, the clock began to resonate with a harmonious sound. As Eleanor worked, the clock's star-shaped design illuminated brightly, and the room was filled with a warm, golden light. Suddenly, the clock's face began to transform, revealing a beautiful, sparkling scene of a magical kingdom where time flowed like a gentle river. From the heart of the clock emerged a tiny, golden figure, a magical timekeeper. The timekeeper spoke in a voice as soft as the wind. "Thank you for unlocking the heart of the clock. You have shown patience, skill, and a pure heart. As a reward, I shall grant you one wish." Eleanor thought of her village, which had faced many hardships due to a recent storm. She wished for prosperity and joy for her fellow villagers, hoping to bring them some relief and happiness. The timekeeper nodded and granted her wish. The magical light from the clock spread throughout the village, touching every home and field. The crops began to flourish, and the village was soon filled with abundance and joy. When Mr. Thorne recovered, he was overjoyed to see the transformation in the village. Eleanor shared her adventure with him, and he was immensely proud of her. The old clock continued to tick and talk in perfect harmony, its magic now a cherished part of the village. From that day on, Eleanor became a renowned clockmaker, known not only for her skill but also for her kindness and the magic she had unlocked. The tale of the clockmaker's apprentice and the magical clock was passed down through generations, reminding everyone of the power of patience, skill, and a heart full of hope. And so, the village thrived, and the old clock stood as a symbol of the magic that lies within a kind and determined heart. Once upon a time, in a kingdom where flowers whispered secrets and trees sang lullabies, there was a hidden garden known only to the moon and the stars. This enchanted garden was a place of wonder, where flowers glowed with their own light and the air was filled with the scent of magic. It was ruled by a gentle fairy queen named Elowen, who watched over the garden with great care. In the village nearby, lived a young girl named Lila. She had always been fascinated by the tales of the enchanted garden but had never seen it with her own eyes. Every night, she would look up at the moon and wonder about the mysterious garden that lay hidden from the world. One evening, as the full moon rose high in the sky, a soft, melodious tune filled the air. The song was so beautiful that it seemed to reach right into Lila's heart. Driven by curiosity and wonder, she followed the melody through the dark woods and over the rolling hills. As she walked, the moonlight seemed to guide her path, and soon she arrived at a large, ivy-covered gate. The gate was adorned with sparkling gems that shimmered in the moonlight. Lila pushed open the gate, and it creaked softly as she stepped into the garden. The sight before her was breathtaking. The garden was a sea of luminescent flowers and shimmering leaves. The moonlight bathed the garden in a silvery glow, and fireflies danced like stars among the blooms. At the heart of the garden stood a majestic tree with silver branches and a trunk that seemed to sparkle with every color of the rainbow. As Lila wandered through the garden, she noticed a particularly radiant flower growing at the base of the tree. It was a moonflower, known for its magical properties. The moonflower was said to grant a single wish to those pure of heart. Just as Lila approached the moonflower, a soft voice spoke from behind her. "Greetings, young traveler," said Queen Elowen, emerging from behind the tree. She was a delicate fairy with wings like gossamer and a crown made of moonlight. "I am Queen Elowen, the guardian of this enchanted garden. Lila was awestruck and managed to stammer, "I've heard stories about this place and the Moonflower. I came to see if the stories were true." Queen Eloan smiled warmly. "The Moonflower is indeed magical, but it is not just for wishing. It's a symbol of hope and dreams. However, it can only grant its gift to those who show kindness and bravery." As they spoke, a sudden gust of wind swept through the garden, and the sky darkened ominously. The enchanted garden was being threatened by a dark force, the Shadow of Despair, a creature that thrived on sadness and darkness. The shadow began to cast a veil of gloom over the garden, dimming the light of the Moonflower. Queen Eloan's face grew worried. The Shadow of Despair seeks to consume the light of the Moonflower. Without it, the garden will fall into darkness, and its magic will be lost forever. Without hesitation, Lila took a deep breath and stepped forward. "I will help you. I want to save the garden and the Moonflower." Queen Eloan nodded in approval. "Brave and kind-hearted indeed. To defeat the Shadow of Despair, you must find the 3 hidden crystals of light that are scattered throughout the garden. These crystals will restore the Moonflower's glow and drive away the shadow." Lila accepted the challenge and set out to find the crystals. She ventured through the garden, solving riddles and overcoming obstacles. The first crystal was hidden in a pond guarded by a wise old turtle who only revealed it when Lila answered a question about the importance of hope. The second crystal was nestled within a grove of trees that sang songs of bravery. To obtain it, Lila had to recite a poem of courage from her heart, demonstrating her resolve and strength. The third crystal was hidden high in the branches of the silver tree, and to reach it, Lila had to climb and face her own fears of heights. As she reached for the crystal, she felt a surge of determination and confidence. With the 3 crystals in hand, Lila returned to the Moonflower. She carefully placed the crystals around the flower, and their combined light began to shine brightly. The Moonflower's glow intensified, pushing back the darkness of the Shadow of Despair. The shadow shrieked and writhed as the light grew stronger, eventually dissipating into the night. The garden was saved, and its magic was restored. The Moonflower bloomed more beautifully than ever, and the garden's enchantment was even more radiant. Queen Eloan thanked Lila for her bravery and kindness. "You have shown that true magic lies in the heart's courage and hope. The Moonflower has granted you one wish." Lila thought for a moment and then said, "I wish for the garden's magic to always Once upon a time, in the heart of a lush, verdant kingdom known as Verdantia, there was a hidden garden known only to a few. This garden was said to hold the legendary Starflower, a mystical bloom that shone with the light of 1,000 stars and had the power to heal any ailment. The kingdom of Verdantia was ruled by a wise and benevolent queen named Seraphina, who loved her people dearly. Despite her wisdom, she had never found the Starflower, and its location remained a mystery even to her. The legend said that the flower could only be found by someone with a heart as pure as the light it emitted. In the village of Rivamist, there lived a young girl named Eloan. She was known throughout the village for her kindness and her love for nature. She spent her days helping the elderly, caring for injured animals, and tending to the plants and flowers in her family's garden. Her compassionate heart made her beloved by all who knew her. One day, a terrible plague swept through Rivamist, causing many of the villagers to fall ill. Despite the efforts of healers, the sickness seemed to resist every remedy. Eloan's own parents became gravely ill, and the village was filled with despair. Desperate to save her loved ones in her village, Eloan remembered the legend of the Starflower and decided to find it. With a small satchel filled with provisions and a heart full of hope, Eloan set out for the hidden garden. Her journey took her through dense forests, across bubbling brooks, and up steep hills. She followed an old map she had found in her grandmother's chest, which was said to be a guide to the garden's location. As she ventured deeper into the wilderness, she came across a shimmering pond surrounded by glowing fireflies. On the pond's surface floated a small, golden boat. Eloan, knowing she had no other means to cross, carefully stepped into the boat. It gently carried her across the pond to the other side, where she saw an ancient, grand oak tree. Beneath the oak, a wise old turtle named Thorn awaited her. Thorn had been the guardian of the forest for centuries. "Welcome, young traveler," Thorn greeted with a slow, deliberate voice. "What brings you to this part of the forest?" "I seek the starflower," Eloan replied earnestly. "My village is suffering, and I need its magic to save my family and my home." Thorn's wise eyes softened. "The starflower is a rare and powerful gift. To find it, you must first prove that your heart is truly pure. To enter the hidden garden, you must pass 3 trials: the trial of courage, the trial of wisdom, and the trial of compassion." Eloan nodded resolutely. "I am ready." The first trial was the trial of courage. Thorn led Eloan to a dark, foreboding cave where a fierce dragon guarded the entrance. The dragon's scales glistened like molten gold, and its eyes burned with fiery intensity. Eloan approached the dragon with a calm demeanor. "I do not wish to fight," she said softly. "I seek only to find the starflower to help those I love." The dragon, surprised by her bravery and sincerity, relented. "Your courage is not in your ability to fight but in your willingness to face fear with a pure heart. You may pass." The second trial was the trial of wisdom. Thorn guided Eloan to an ancient library filled with countless books and scrolls. In the center of the library was a puzzle that needed to be solved to reveal the path to the hidden garden. Eloan studied the puzzle carefully. It was a riddle written in an ancient script: "What is lighter than air but can fill a room? What is softer than a whisper but can echo in your soul?" Eloan thought deeply and recalled the kindness she had shown to others and the love she felt for her family. Her heart answered the riddle: it is hope. The puzzle's solution illuminated the path, leading her closer to her goal. The final trial was the trial of compassion. Eloan entered a beautiful glade where a wounded unicorn lay. The unicorn's gentle eyes were filled with pain, and it looked to Eloan with a plea for help. Without hesitation, Eloan used the healing herbs she had brought to tend to the unicorn's wounds. She spoke softly and comfortingly, soothing the unicorn with her presence. Gradually, the unicorn's pain eased, and it stood up, its strength renewed. "You have passed all the trials," Thorn said with approval. "The garden is now open to you." Eloan entered the hidden garden, a paradise of lush flowers and vibrant colors. At the center of the garden stood the starflower, its petals glowing with a soft, celestial light. Eloan approached the flower and carefully picked it, feeling its warmth and magic flow through her. She returned to Rivermist with the starflower, and its healing properties worked wonders. The villagers began to recover, and her parents regained their strength. The plague was lifted, and the village rejoiced in gratitude. Eloan's bravery, wisdom, and compassion were celebrated, and the tale of her quest for the starflower became a cherished story of hope and kindness. The hidden garden remained a place of magic, and the starflower's legacy continued to inspire all who heard its tale. And so, Eloan lived a life filled with joy, knowing that her pure heart had made a difference, and the kingdom of Verdantia thrived in peace and prosperity. The end. In a realm above the clouds, where the sky sparkled with 1,000 twinkling stars, there was a curious cloud named Nimbus. Nimbus was not like the other clouds. While they were content floating and drifting, Nimbus loved to explore and ask questions. His fluffy form was always changing shape as he floated around the sky, searching for adventures. One clear night, as Nimbus was drifting lazily, he noticed something unusual. One of the stars was not shining brightly like the others. It was faint and flickering, as if it was struggling to stay in the sky. Nimbus's heart went out to the little star. He floated closer and saw that it was the star of Everglow, known for its radiant light that guided travelers. "Why are you so dim?" Nimbus asked gently. "I've lost my way," the star of Everglow replied in a faint voice. "I need to return to the Celestial Haven, where I draw my strength. Without it, my light will fade." Nimbus felt a pang of sympathy. "I can help you find your way back to the Celestial Haven." The star of Everglow's light brightened slightly with hope. "You would do that for me?" "Of course." Nimbus replied enthusiastically. "I love adventures, and this sounds like a wonderful quest. So, Nimbus and the Star of Everglow set off together, guided by the soft glow of the star. They traveled across the sky, through constellations and nebulae, but soon realized they were lost in the vastness of space. Suddenly, they came across a wise old comet named Cosmo, who was streaking across the sky. "Greetings, young Nimbus and Star of Everglow," Cosmo called out. "What brings you to this part of the sky?" Nimbus explained their predicament, and Cosmo's tail shimmered thoughtfully. "To reach the Celestial Haven, you must find 3 ancient celestial objects," Cosmo advised. "They are the Moonstone, the Celestial Compass, and the Luminous Map. They will guide you to your destination." Thanking Cosmo, Nimbus and the Star of Everglow continued their journey. Their first challenge was to find the Moonstone, said to be hidden in the heart of the moon. They arrived at the moon's surface, a serene place with silver dust. There, they encountered a moon rabbit named Luna, who was busy preparing mooncakes. "Hello, Luna," Nimbus said. "We're looking for the Moonstone. Can you help us?" Luna smiled warmly. "To find the Moonstone, you must answer a riddle. I rise in the morning and set at night. I am always in sight but never held tight. What am I?" Nimbus thought carefully and then replied, "The sun." Luna clapped her paws. "You are correct. The Moonstone is hidden beneath the silver dust. Take it, and it will help you." Nimbus and the Star of Everglow found the Moonstone and thanked Luna before continuing their journey. Next, they needed to find the Celestial Compass, which was said to be guarded by the ancient Star Guardians. They traveled to a starry realm filled with swirling galaxies and floating islands. They found the Star Guardians, for celestial beings who radiated a calming light. To obtain the Celestial Compass, the Star Guardian said, "You must solve our challenge. Each of us will ask a question, and you must answer all 3 correctly." The first Guardian asked, "What has keys but can't open locks?" "A piano," Nimbus answered confidently. The second Guardian asked, "What can be broken without being touched?" "A promise," Nimbus replied. The third Guardian asked, "What goes up but never comes down?" "Your age," Nimbus answered. The Star Guardians were pleased. "You have answered correctly. The Celestial Compass is yours to guide you." With the Celestial Compass in hand, Nimbus and the Star of Everglow continued their quest. Finally, they needed the Luminous Map, which was kept in the Celestial Library, a magnificent place filled with glowing books and scrolls. In the library, they met the Keeper of Stars, an elegant being who glided gracefully among the shelves. To gain the Luminous Map, the Keeper said, "You must show the worth of your heart. Tell me, what is the most important thing in the universe?" Nimbus and the Star of Everglow thought deeply. Finally, Nimbus said, "Love and friendship are the most important. They light up even the darkest places." The Keeper of Stars nodded approvingly and handed over the Luminous Map. "You have shown true wisdom. The map will lead you to the Celestial Haven." Following the map, Nimbus and the Star of Everglow traveled through swirling galaxies and shimmering nebulae until they finally reached the Celestial Haven. The Star of Everglow's light grew brighter and stronger as it reunited with its home. "Thank you, Nimbus," the Star of Everglow said gratefully. "You have restored my light and helped me find my way." Nimbus beamed with pride. "I'm glad I could help. It was a wonderful adventure." The Star of Everglow's light spread across the sky, making the stars shine even brighter. Nimbus returned to his place among the clouds, knowing that he had made a difference. From then on, the story of Nimbus and the Star of Everglow became a beloved tale among the stars. It reminded everyone that even the smallest light could guide others through the darkest of times. Once upon a time, in a quaint village nestled between rolling hills and dense forests, there was an old legend about a magical lantern. This lantern was said to hold the power to grant one true wish to anyone who found it under the light of a full moon. The villagers had heard stories about it for generations, but no one had ever seen the lantern, and it had become a mere whisper in their tales. In this village lived a kind-hearted young woman named Elara. Elara had always been enchanted by the stories of the moonlit lantern. she dreamed of bringing joy and prosperity to her village, which had been struggling lately due to a series of unfortunate events. With crops failing and a harsh winter approaching, Alara decided to seek out the lantern and make a wish to restore her village's fortunes. One crisp autumn night, with the full moon shining brightly overhead, Alara set out on her quest. She carried a small satchel with some provisions and a map she had found in an old book about the village's legends. The map showed a route through the forest to a hidden grove where the lantern was rumored to be found. As Alara ventured into the forest, the moonlight filtered through the trees, casting a soft, silvery glow. She followed the map's directions, navigating through the thick woods and over a babbling brook. After a few hours of walking, she arrived at the edge of a serene, moonlit meadow. In the center of the meadow stood an ancient oak tree, its branches reaching towards the sky like open arms. At the base of the tree was a small, intricately carved pedestal. Alara approached the pedestal with anticipation and noticed a beautifully crafted lantern resting upon it. The lantern's surface was adorned with delicate silver filigree, and its light glowed with a warm, inviting hue. Alara reached out and picked up the lantern. As she did, the soft glow intensified, and a gentle, melodic voice spoke from within the lantern. To grant your wish, you must first understand the true nature of your heart's desire. Tell me, what is it that you wish for? Alara took a deep breath and spoke honestly. I wish to bring joy and prosperity to my village. I want to see my people happy and their lives restored. The lantern's light grew brighter, and a magical mist swirled around Alara. The voice continued, to fulfill this wish, you must perform 3 acts of kindness. Each act will unlock a piece of the lantern's power. Alara accepted the challenge and set off on her journey. Her first task led her to a small, abandoned cottage at the edge of the forest. Inside, she found an elderly woman struggling to mend a broken roof. Alara offered her help, and together they repaired the roof and restored the cottage. The grateful woman gave Alara a beautiful, handcrafted quilt as a token of her appreciation. For the second act of kindness, Alara came across a group of lost children who had wandered far from their village. She guided them back safely to their homes, sharing stories and comforting them along the way. The children's parents were deeply thankful and gave Alara a basket of fresh fruits and vegetables from their harvest. The final task took Alara to a nearby riverbank, where she found a young fisherman whose boat had capsized. He was struggling to salvage his gear. Alara assisted him in retrieving his belongings and helped him repair the boat. The fisherman, grateful for her assistance, gifted her a small, carved wooden charm for good luck. With all 3 acts of kindness completed, Alara returned to the moonlit meadow. She placed the quilt, the basket of produce, and the wooden charm upon the pedestal alongside the lantern. The lantern's light intensified, and a burst of shimmering light filled the meadow. Alara felt a wave of warmth and hope wash over her. She returned to her village, where she discovered that the lantern's magic had already begun to work. The crops had miraculously revived, and the village was filled with laughter and celebration. The fruits and vegetables from the basket had been shared among the villagers. And the quilt and charm were cherished by those in need. The village thrived once more, and Alara was celebrated for her kindness and dedication. The legend of the moonlit lantern lived on, not just as a tale of magic, but as a reminder of the power of selflessness and the joy that comes from helping others. And so, under the light of the full moon, the village of Alara flourished, its people living in harmony and happiness, forever grateful for the heart of a young woman who made a wish come true. The end. Once upon a time, in the heart of a lush, enchanted forest, there was a hidden lake known as Silver Lake. The lake was named for its surface, which shimmered like liquid silver under the moonlight. The villagers who lived nearby had heard tales of the lake's magical properties, but it had remained a mystery for generations. In the village of Meadowbrook lived a courageous girl named Arya. Arya had a deep connection with nature and often explored the forest, talking to the animals and tending to the plants. She had grown up listening to her grandmother's stories about Silver Lake and its mystical powers. Her grandmother had once told her that the lake could reveal great secrets to those who were pure of heart and sought it with a noble purpose. One summer evening, a severe drought struck Meadowbrook. The fields dried up, and the village's well went dry. The villagers were worried and unsure of how to save their crops and livestock. Arya decided that if Silver Lake truly held a secret that could help, she would find it. With a heart full of hope and determination, she set out towards the forest to seek the lake. As Arya ventured deeper into the forest, she followed the gentle, musical notes of a mysterious melody that seemed to guide her way. The melody grew stronger as she neared the heart of the forest, where the trees were taller and the air was cooler. After a long trek, Arya arrived at a hidden glade bathed in the silver light of the full moon. In the center of the glade was Silver Lake, its surface reflecting the moonlight like a sheet of shimmering silver. The lake was surrounded by ancient trees and glowing flowers, creating an aura of serene beauty. Arya approached the lake and knelt by its edge, peering into its depths. She spoke softly, "Great Silver Lake, I have come seeking your help. My village is suffering from a terrible drought, and we need your magic to restore our land." As she finished speaking, the water in the lake began to swirl, and a soft, ethereal voice echoed from its depths. "To save your village, you must first find the heart of the lake. It lies hidden where the silver moonlight meets the forest's heart." Arya looked around and noticed a silver beam of moonlight shining through a gap in the trees. She followed the beam to a large, ancient oak tree at the edge of the glade. The tree's trunk was covered in intricate carvings of stars and moons. At its base, Arya discovered a small, hidden door. With a bit of effort, she opened the door to find a staircase descending into the earth. Arya carefully made her way down the stairs, which led to an underground chamber bathed in the soft glow of moonlight. In the center of the chamber was a pedestal with a beautiful, crystalline heart resting upon it. The heart of the lake glowed with a gentle, pulsating light. As Arya approached the pedestal, the chamber filled with a soothing, melodic sound. The heart of the lake seemed to resonate with the melody, and Arya felt a warm, comforting energy enveloping her. She carefully took the heart of the lake and felt its power surging through her. The voice from the lake spoke again, "Return to your village with the heart, and let its magic flow into the land." Arya made her way back to Meadowbrook with the heart of the lake. As she arrived at the village, she held the heart high above her head. A soft, radiant light emanated from it, and the ground began to tremble gently. The once dry well started to fill with fresh, clean water, and the parched fields began to turn green once more. The villagers gathered in amazement as the magic of the heart of the lake restored their land. The crops began to grow, and the river that ran through the village once again flowed with sparkling water. The village was saved from the drought, and the people celebrated with joy and gratitude. Arya was hailed as a hero, but she humbly credited the magic of Silver Lake and the guidance it had provided. The story of Arya's bravery and the magic of Silver Lake became a beloved tale in Meadowbrook, passed down through generations as a reminder of the power of hope, courage, and the wonders of the natural world. And so, Meadowbrook thrived once more, its fields lush and its waters flowing, forever touched by the secret of the Silver Lake and the courageous heart of a young girl who believed in its magic. The end. Once upon a time, in a tranquil village named Greenbrook, nestled at the edge of a vast forest, stood an ancient oak tree known as the Whispering Oak. The villagers believed this majestic tree had magical properties, for it was said to whisper secrets of the past, present, and future to those who listened closely. In this village lived a curious and kind-hearted boy named Finn. Ever since he was little, Finn had been fascinated by the Whispering Oak. He often visited the tree, hoping to hear its secrets, but the whispers always seemed just out of reach. One sunny morning, as Finn explored the forest near the Whispering Oak, he discovered a hidden path cloaked in vines and blooming wildflowers. The path seemed to beckon him. With a sense of adventure, Finn decided to follow it. After walking for a while, he reached a clearing where he found a sparkling, crystal-clear pond surrounded by colorful, glowing flowers. As Finn approached the pond, he noticed a small, golden key resting on a smooth stone. Curious, he picked up the key, feeling its warmth in his hand. Just then, the wind carried a soft, melodious voice that seemed to come from the Whispering Oak, saying, "To unlock the magic, you must first find the heart of the forest." The voice was mysterious, but Finn felt a surge of excitement. He pocketed the key and continued his journey, guided by the whispers of the forest and the glimmering flowers. The path led him deeper into the forest until he reached an ancient stone archway covered in ivy. The archway was adorned with symbols and patterns that glowed faintly in the dappled sunlight. Finn realized that the golden key might fit into the keyhole in the center of the archway. With a mixture of anticipation and nerves, Finn inserted the key into the keyhole and turned it. The archway creaked open, revealing a hidden passageway lined with sparkling gemstones. As he walked through the passageway, the walls began to shimmer, and the air filled with a soothing, melodious tune. At the end of the passageway, Finn emerged into a magnificent grove bathed in moonlight. In the center of the grove was a magnificent tree even older than the whispering oak, with branches that stretched high into the sky and leaves that glittered like stars. This was the heart of the forest. Beneath the grand tree, there was an ornate wooden chest with intricate carvings of celestial symbols. The chest had a lock, and Finn realized that the golden key he had found was meant to open it. He carefully inserted the key into the lock and turned it. With a soft click, the chest opened, revealing a scroll tied with a silver ribbon. Finn untied the ribbon and unrolled the scroll. The scroll contained an ancient map and a message written in elegant, flowing script: "To find the true magic, you must listen to the whispers of the heart and share the gift with those in need." Finn pondered the message and looked around the grove. He noticed a small, wooden box beside the chest, filled with glowing seeds. Each seed radiated a gentle, golden light. Remembering the whispering oak and its connection to magic, Finn understood what he needed to do. He took the box of seeds and returned to Greenbrook. With the villagers' help, Finn planted the glowing seeds throughout the village and surrounding forest. As the seeds took root, they began to grow into beautiful, radiant plants and trees, transforming Greenbrook into a haven of light and beauty. The whispering oak's whispers grew louder and clearer, guiding the villagers in their daily lives and bringing them comfort and wisdom. The once quiet village now thrived with harmony and joy, and the enchanted forest became a place of wonder and peace. Finn's discovery and selfless act became a cherished tale in Greenbrook, and the villagers celebrated the magic of the whispering oak and the heart of the forest. Finn had not only unlocked the magic but had shared it with everyone, bringing lasting happiness to his village. And so, Greenbrook flourished under the watchful. In a land where rolling meadows met sparkling rivers and towering mountains, there was a village called Celestia. The village was renowned for its breathtaking skies, painted every day by an unseen artist who colored the clouds with stunning hues. No one knew who this artist was, but their work brought joy to all who saw it. The village was home to a young girl named Eloan, whose dreams were as vibrant as the skies she admired. Eloan loved to watch the clouds change colors at sunrise and sunset, and she often imagined herself as the artist behind the magical transformations. One afternoon, while exploring the edge of the forest, Eloan stumbled upon an old, dusty book half buried under a pile of leaves. She picked it up and brushed off the dirt, revealing a cover adorned with intricate patterns and a shimmering title, "The Secrets of the Cloud Painter." Excited, Eloan opened the book and began to read. The book spoke of a legendary cloud painter who used enchanted paintbrushes to create the most beautiful skies. The painter had vanished long ago, leaving only the magical brushes behind. According to the book, the brushes were hidden in the heart of the enchanted forest, guarded by a series of mystical challenges. Determined to uncover the truth, Eloan set out on a quest to find the enchanted brushes. She ventured into the enchanted forest, which was known for its magical creatures and mysterious paths. Her first challenge was to find the glowing brook, said to be the source of the magical paint used by the cloud painter. After hours of searching, Eloan stumbled upon a brook that shimmered with a soft, golden light. As she knelt by the water, she saw that the brook was filled with tiny, sparkling fish that seemed to dance in the light. A wise old turtle appeared from the depths and spoke to her. "To find what you seek, you must answer this question," the turtle said. "What is both a guide and a companion, always present but never seen?" Eloan thought for a moment and then answered, "A shadow." The turtle nodded and revealed a hidden path behind the brook. Iloan followed the path, which led her to a large, ancient tree with a door carved into its trunk. Inside the tree was a cozy room filled with soft, glowing lanterns and shelves of beautiful paintbrushes. But only one brush was enchanted, the one with a handle made of shimmering silver and bristles that seemed to sparkle with every color of the rainbow. Iloan carefully picked up the enchanted brush and felt a rush of excitement. As she turned to leave, a gentle voice spoke from the shadows. "You have found the first brush, but there are still 2 more challenges to overcome." Iloan was determined and continued her journey. The next challenge led her to the misty meadow, where she needed to find the luminous flower, which bloomed only in the light of the full moon. The meadow was filled with mist and ethereal light, and Iloan had to navigate through a maze of shimmering fog. At the heart of the meadow, Iloan found the luminous flower, its petals glowing softly in the moonlight. As she approached, a beautiful fairy appeared and handed her a vial filled with moonlight. "Use this vial to reveal the true colors of the enchanted brush," the fairy said. "But remember, true beauty comes from the heart." With the vial in hand, Iloan made her way to the final challenge, the Summit of Stars. At the summit, she found a canvas stretched across a massive stone frame, waiting to be painted. The night sky above was filled with twinkling stars, and Iloan knew this was where she would use the enchanted brush. As she began to paint, the brush danced across the canvas, creating mesmerizing patterns and colors that mirrored the night sky. The moonlight from the vial infused the paint with a magical glow, and the canvas came to life with swirling constellations and vivid hues. Suddenly, a soft, warm light enveloped Iloan, and a figure appeared before her, a radiant spirit with a flowing robe and a crown of stars. The spirit was the Cloud Painter, who had been watching Iloan's journey. "You have shown great courage, creativity, and a pure heart," the spirit said. "The enchanted brushes are now yours to use. Paint the skies with your own unique colors and let your imagination soar." With the blessing of the Cloud Painter, Iloan returned to Celestia, her heart brimming with joy and excitement. She began to paint the skies, creating dazzling sunrises and breathtaking sunsets that captivated the villagers. Each day, the clouds took on new and magical forms, reflecting Iloan's boundless creativity. The villagers marveled at the ever-changing skies, and Iloan's art became a cherished part of Celestia's daily life. The village thrived under the radiant skies, and the story of Iloan's adventure and the magical brushes was told and retold through generations. And so, Iloan's dreams became a reality, and the skies of Celestia continued to sparkle with the colors of her imagination, reminding everyone that true magic is created with a heart full of wonder and creativity. In a quaint village nestled between misty mountains and lush meadows, there was a small shop known for its magical curiosities. The shop was owned by an elderly woman named Madame Zara, who was famous for her enchanting lanterns. Each lantern had a unique magic, but the most mysterious was the enchanted lantern, said to grant one wish to anyone with a heart full of courage and kindness. One crisp autumn evening, a young boy named Finn entered the shop. Finn was known throughout the village for his adventurous spirit and his kind heart. He had heard tales of the enchanted lantern and hoped it might help him find his missing sister, Lily, who had disappeared into the dark woods. "Madame Zara," Finn said, "I need the enchanted lantern to find my sister. The dark woods are filled with dangers, and I must bring her back safely." Madame Zara, who had seen many brave souls come and go, looked at Finn with a knowing smile. "The enchanted lantern is a powerful tool, but it requires a pure heart and a brave spirit. Are you prepared for the challenges ahead?" Finn nodded with determination. Madame Zara handed him the enchanted lantern, its light flickering softly as if acknowledging Finn's resolve. "Take this lantern and follow its light into the dark woods. It will guide you through the dangers and help you find your sister." With the lantern in hand, Finn ventured into the dark woods. The forest was dense and shadowy, with twisted trees and eerie sounds. The lantern's light cut through the darkness, casting a warm, reassuring glow. As Finn walked, he encountered various challenges. First, he came across a wide, rushing river with no bridge in sight. The lantern's light revealed stepping stones just beneath the water's surface. Finn carefully crossed the stones, reaching the other side safely. Next, he faced a steep, rocky hill with a menacing fog swirling around it. The lantern's glow revealed a hidden path along the side of the hill. Finn followed the path, climbing steadily until he reached the top. As night fell, the forest grew colder and the shadows lengthened. Finn began to feel anxious, but he kept the lantern close, its light steady and comforting. Suddenly, a soft, melodic voice reached his ears. It was coming from a small, hidden grove. In the grove, Finn discovered a beautiful fairy with delicate wings and a shimmering gown. She was sitting on a bed of moss, looking sad. "I'm lost," the fairy said, "and I can't find my way back to the fairy kingdom." Finn, despite his own quest, felt a surge of compassion. "I'll help you find your way," he said. "In return, could you help me find my sister?" The fairy's eyes brightened with gratitude. "Thank you, brave boy. I will guide you to your sister, but first, we must find the heart of the dark woods where the enchantment is strongest." Together, Finn and the fairy followed the lantern's light deeper into the forest. The fairy used her magic to clear the path of obstacles and illuminate hidden dangers. After what felt like hours, they reached a clearing where a large, ancient tree stood. Its branches were adorned with glowing orbs. At the base of the tree, lying in a bed of soft leaves, was Lily. She was asleep, surrounded by a gentle, magical aura. Finn rushed to her side, and the fairy gently woke Lily with a soft touch. Lily stirred and smiled when she saw Finn. "You found me," she exclaimed, hugging her brother tightly. The fairy, seeing that Finn's wish had been fulfilled, began to fade. "Thank you for your kindness, Finn. You have restored the balance of the forest and shown true bravery. The enchanted lantern's magic is now complete." Finn and Lily returned to the village, where they were greeted with joy and relief. The villagers celebrated their safe return, and the story of Finn's bravery and the enchanted lantern spread far and wide. Madame Zara, pleased with the outcome, told Finn, "Your courage and kindness have brought light to the darkest of places. Remember, the true magic lies in the heart that dares to wish and the spirit that strives to make it come true." And so, the tale of Finn, Lily, and the enchanted lantern became a cherished story in the village, reminding everyone that even in the darkest times, a brave heart and a touch of magic can guide us home. The end. Once upon a time, in the kingdom of Arendelle, there was a hidden glen known as the Valley of Echoes. This valley was famous for its crystal-clear lake that reflected the sky like a mirror and for the ancient tree at its center, known as the Dreaming Oak. The legend said that on the night of the blue moon, the Dreaming Oak would grant one heartfelt wish to those who reached it with a pure heart. In the nearby village of Willowbrook, there lived a gentle and imaginative boy named Rowan. Rowan had a deep love for the natural world and was known for his kindness and curiosity. His best friend was a mischievous and clever fox named Finn, who had a knack for solving puzzles and finding hidden paths. One evening, as the blue moon began to rise, casting a soft azure glow across the land, Rowan and Finn discovered an old, ornate map tucked inside an ancient book in the village library. The map detailed the way to the Valley of Echoes and promised that the Dreaming Oak would reveal its magic on this special night. Determined to see the Dreaming Oak and make a wish, Rowan and Finn set out on their journey. The path to the valley was illuminated by the light of the blue moon, and they soon found themselves at the edge of the Valley of Echoes, where the night sky seemed to dance with stars. As they entered the valley, they were greeted by the tranquil beauty of the crystal-clear lake and the soft, whispering rustle of the Dreaming Oak's leaves. However, the path to the oak was blocked by 3 mystical gates, each requiring a different challenge to be overcome. The first gate was the Gate of Reflections. It was a grand archway made of shimmering glass and had a riddle inscribed upon it. "I am not alive, but I grow. I don't have eyes, but you can see me. I am not alive, but I need water to live. What am I?" Rowan thought carefully and then realized the answer. "A crystal," he said. The gate's surface rippled like water, and it slowly opened, revealing the path to the next challenge. The second gate was the Gate of Shadows. This gate was guarded by shadowy figures that moved and shifted like wisps of smoke. To pass, Rowan and Finn needed to create a pattern of light that would reveal the way forward. Finn used his quick reflexes to gather glowing fireflies, and Rowan used a lantern to direct their light into a beautiful pattern. The shadows parted, and the gate opened, allowing them to proceed to the final gate. The last gate was the Gate of Harmony. It was adorned with intricate musical notes and required them to create a harmonious melody to open it. Rowan took out a small flute he always carried, and Finn used his paws to tap out a rhythm on a nearby stone. As they played their melody, the notes floated through the air and formed a glowing archway that opened before them, leading them to the Dreaming Oak. At the center of the valley stood the magnificent Dreaming Oak, its branches adorned with twinkling lights that seemed to echo the stars. Rowan and Finn approached the tree with a sense of awe and wonder. To make their wish, they needed to speak their heart's desire with true sincerity. Rowan closed his eyes and thought about what mattered most to him. With Finn by his side, he made his wish: "I wish for the happiness and prosperity of our village, so that everyone may live in harmony and joy." The Dreaming Oak's branches glowed brightly, and a soft breeze carried Rowan's wish throughout the valley. The magical light spread beyond the valley, touching the hearts of everyone in Willowbrook. When Rowan and Finn returned to their village, they found it transformed. The fields were flourishing, the village was vibrant with laughter and joy, and the people were filled with gratitude and happiness. The tale of Rowan and Finn's adventure in the magic of the Dreaming Oak became a beloved story in Willowbrook, reminding everyone of the power of selfless wishes and the beauty of a kind heart. And so, the Valley of Echoes continued to be a place of wonder and enchantment, where dreams and wishes came to life under the light of the blue moon. The end. Once upon a time, in a kingdom surrounded by rolling hills and dense forests, there was a small, tranquil village called Willowbrook. Willowbrook was famous for its extraordinary willow tree, known as the Whispering Willow. The tree's branches were said to hold the secrets of the past, present, and future, and its leaves rustled with soft, mystical whispers that guided the villagers. In Willowbrook lived a kind-hearted young girl named Lila. Lila was known for her compassion and her love for animals. She spent her days helping her family and caring for the village's stray animals. Every evening, she would sit beneath the whispering willow and listen to its gentle whispers, which she believed held wisdom for those who sought it with a pure heart. One day, as Lila was tending to a wounded fox she had found in the forest, she overheard a troubling conversation among the village elders. They spoke of a dark shadow spreading across the kingdom, threatening to cover the land in eternal darkness. The only way to stop it, they said, was to find the lost star, a magical artifact that had been hidden away centuries ago. Lila felt a surge of determination. She knew that if the lost star could bring light back to the kingdom, she had to find it. With the support of her family and friends, she set off on a quest to locate the artifact. The Whispering Willow had mentioned that the lost star was hidden in a hidden realm, accessible only through the Enchanted Forest. The Enchanted Forest was known for its mystical creatures and magical barriers. As Lila ventured deeper into the forest, she encountered a series of magical challenges. First, she met a mischievous sprite who challenged her with a riddle. "I have cities but no houses, forests but no trees, and rivers but no water. What am I?" Lila thought carefully and answered, "A map." The sprite's eyes twinkled with approval. "You may pass." Next, Lila crossed paths with a gentle giantess who blocked her way. The giantess had lost her way in the forest and was searching for a special flower that only bloomed under the moonlight. Lila agreed to help the giantess find the flower, and in return, the giantess guided her through the forest's treacherous paths. Finally, Lila reached a shimmering, moonlit glade where the entrance to the hidden realm was said to be located. She encountered a wise old owl perched on a grand oak tree. The owl spoke in a soft, melodic voice. "To enter the hidden realm, you must show your heart's true intention. What do you seek most dearly?" Lila replied honestly, "I seek to bring light and hope to my kingdom and save it from the encroaching darkness." The owl nodded and spread its wings, revealing a glowing portal hidden within the tree. Lila stepped through the portal and found herself in a realm of dazzling light and vibrant colors. At the center of this realm was a magnificent crystal, radiating a brilliant, warm light, the lost star. As Lila approached the crystal, a shadowy figure emerged from the darkness. It was the Sorcerer of Shadows, who had been spreading the darkness across the kingdom. The sorcerer's eyes gleamed with malice as he said, "You think you can take the lost star from me? I've worked too hard to bring about eternal night." Lila stood her ground. "The lost star belongs to the people of the kingdom. Its light will bring hope and joy, not darkness." The sorcerer laughed, but his laughter was interrupted by the soft glow of the lost star, which seemed to resonate with Lila's courage and determination. The light from the crystal began to push back the shadowy figure, growing stronger with each step Lila took toward it. Realizing he could not compete with the pure light of the lost star, the sorcerer was forced to retreat into the darkness, vowing to return. Lila took the lost star and made her way back to Willowbrook, where the villagers greeted her with cheers and joy. When Lila placed the lost star at the heart of the village, its light spread across the kingdom, banishing the darkness and restoring hope to the land. The whispering willow's leaves rustled with approval, and the kingdom thrived once more. Lila's bravery and selflessness became a celebrated tale in Willowbrook, and the kingdom was forever grateful for her courage. The lost star's light continued to shine brightly, a beacon of hope and joy for all. And so, Lila, the Whispering Willow, and the people of Willowbrook lived happily ever after, surrounded by the warmth and light of their restored kingdom. And they all lived happily ever after. Once upon a time, in a land far beyond the reach of ordinary maps, there was a mystical place known as Everwood. This enchanted forest was said to be a realm where magic danced on the leaves and whispered through the trees. Its beauty was unparalleled, with trees that sparkled like stars and flowers that sang gentle lullabies. In the heart of Everwood lay a grand garden, tended by an old and wise gardener named Elowen. She was no ordinary gardener. She had the ability to speak with plants and understand their secrets. The garden was a tapestry of colors and scents, with roses that glowed under the moonlight and lilies that shone like the morning sun. One sunny morning, a curious young girl named Lyra ventured into Everwood. She had heard tales of the magical garden and was eager to see it for herself. Lyra was kind-hearted and had a special gift of her own. She could hear the songs of the forest animals. As she wandered deeper into the forest, she marveled at the vibrant flora and the soft hum of magic in the air. Soon, she reached the garden and was greeted by the sight of Elowen, who was busy planting a new bed of iridescent violets. "Welcome to the enchanted garden," Elowen said with a warm smile. "I'm Elowen, the guardian of this magical place. What brings you here, young Lyra?" Lyra's eyes sparkled with wonder. "I've heard so much about this garden and wanted to see it for myself. It's even more beautiful than I imagined." Elowen chuckled softly. "I'm glad you think so. This garden is special, and it holds many secrets. Would you like to help me with a task today?" Lyra eagerly agreed, and Elowen led her to a secluded corner of the garden where a large, ancient oak tree stood. Its trunk was covered in delicate, golden ivy, and its branches stretched high into the sky. "This tree," Elowen explained, "is the heart of the garden. It keeps the magic flowing through Everwood. But lately, the magic has been weakening. The ivy on this tree needs to be recharged with a special spell." Lyra's eyes widened. "How can I help?" Elowen handed Lyra a small, ornate book with a cover made of shimmering leaves. "This book contains the spell needed to restore the magic. But to cast it, you must first understand the song of the ivy. Listen closely and let your heart guide you." Lyra nodded and placed her hands gently on the ivy-covered trunk. As she closed her eyes, she could hear a soft, melodic whisper, like a lullaby carried by the wind. The song was delicate and full of longing. Guided by the melody, Lyra carefully recited the spell from the book. As she spoke the words, the ivy began to glow with a warm, golden light. The tree's branches swayed gently, and a sense of renewed magic filled the garden. Elowen clapped her hands in delight. "You did it, Lyra. The garden's magic is restored. The ivy's song is vibrant once more." Lyra beamed with pride. It was an incredible experience. I could feel the magic flowing through me. As a token of gratitude, Eloand gifted Lyra a single glowing violet from the garden. This flower will remind you of the magic within you. Whenever you need to find your way or seek guidance, hold it close. Lyra thanked Eloand and began her journey back home, her heart full of joy and wonder. As she walked through the forest, the violet in her hand shimmered softly, casting a gentle light. From that day on, Lyra would often return to Everwood, not just as a visitor, but as a friend and protector of its magic. And the enchanted garden continued to thrive, its secrets safe with those who understood its true beauty. And so, in the heart of Everwood, where magic and nature intertwined, Lyra's story became one of many, each adding to the timeless tale of a magical place where dreams and wonders never ceased to exist. Once upon a time, in a quaint village nestled between rolling hills and a shimmering lake, there lived a kind-hearted girl named Lila. Her family was known for their beautiful handcrafted lanterns that illuminated the village during the night. Each lantern was made with love and magic, passed down through generations. One evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon and the village prepared for the annual Lantern Festival, Lila's mother fell ill. Without her guidance, Lila was left to complete the final lantern, a special one meant to bring prosperity and joy to the village for the coming year. Lila worked tirelessly, but as the night grew darker, the lantern remained incomplete. She was just about to give up when she noticed a faint glow coming from the edge of the forest nearby. Curiosity piqued, she decided to follow the light. Through the whispering trees and over the sparkling stream, Lila ventured deeper into the forest until she arrived at a clearing bathed in an ethereal glow. There, hovering above a small, ancient pedestal, was a lantern unlike any she had ever seen. Its light was soft and inviting, with colors dancing like the northern lights. Just as Lila reached out to touch it, a gentle voice spoke from behind her. "Greetings, young one," said a wise old woman with eyes like the twilight sky. "I am the guardian of the enchanted lantern. This lantern holds the magic of dreams and wishes." Lila, surprised but determined, explained her predicament. "I need to complete the lantern for the festival. My mother is ill, and I don't know if I can finish it in time." The guardian listened intently. "This lantern can help you, but its magic must be used wisely. It can grant one wish, but only if it is made with pure intentions and a true heart." Lila thought for a moment. She wished for her village to be blessed with happiness and prosperity for the coming year. With a deep breath, she made her wish and touched the enchanted lantern. The lantern's light grew brighter, and a warm breeze swirled around Lila, carrying the magic of her wish into the night sky. The guardian smiled kindly. "You have chosen well. Your heart is pure, and your wish is selfless." As Lila made her way back to the village, she found that the lantern she had been working on was now glowing with the same magical light she had seen in the forest. With renewed energy, she finished decorating it with intricate patterns and vibrant colors. The Lantern Festival began, and as each lantern was lit, the village was bathed in a warm, enchanting glow. The magic of the enchanted lantern spread throughout the village, bringing joy, prosperity, and a sense of unity. Lila's mother, feeling the magic's touch, began to recover. The village celebrated with great festivities, knowing that their wishes had been granted. Lila's selflessness and the magic of the enchanted lantern had made the festival one to remember. And so, under the shimmering lights of the Lantern Festival, Lila and her village lived happily ever after, knowing that the true magic of the lanterns came from the kindness and love shared by those who made them. The end. Once upon a time, in a quaint village nestled at the edge of a vast, ancient forest, there was a legend about a magical lantern. This lantern, known as the Lantern of Leora, was said to have the power to bring light to the darkest of places and reveal hidden truths. It was kept in the heart of the enchanted forest, guarded by an elusive and wise guardian named Leora. In the village lived a young girl named Elara. Elara was known for her curiosity and her kind heart. She often helped the villagers with their daily tasks and had a special talent for finding beauty in even the smallest things. However, the village had recently been plagued by a series of mysterious shadows and strange occurrences, casting a gloom over the once happy place. Elara decided she would find the Lantern of Leora to help restore light and hope to her village. One crisp autumn morning, Elara set out on her journey into the enchanted forest. She packed a small bag with supplies, a warm cloak, some bread and cheese, and a map of the forest that had been passed down through her family. The forest was known for its magical and sometimes perplexing nature, but Elara was determined and hopeful. As she ventured deeper into the forest, she noticed the trees had a faint, shimmering glow, and the path seemed to change as she walked. The forest was alive with soft, melodious sounds, like whispers of the wind and distant bird songs. Elara followed the map, which led her to a babbling brook with water so clear it sparkled like diamonds. The brook was lined with glowing pebbles, and Elara followed its course until she reached a grove bathed in golden light. At the center of the grove stood a large, ancient oak tree with a hollow trunk. Inside the hollow was a small, ornate door. Elara approached the door, her heart pounding with excitement. As she reached out to open it, a soft voice spoke from within the tree. To seek the Lantern of Leora, you must prove your worth by completing 3 tasks. Only then will you be deemed worthy to receive its light. Elara nodded, ready for the challenge. The first task was the task of kindness. The voice guided her to a clearing where a family of deer was caught in a tangle of vines. Elara carefully freed the deer, who nuzzled her in gratitude before bounding off into the forest. The second task was the task of courage. Elara was led to a shadowy cavern where a young fox was trapped. The fox was frightened and shivering. Elara bravely entered the cavern, calmed the fox with gentle words, and helped it find its way out. The final task was the task of wisdom. The voice presented Elara with a riddle inscribed on a stone tablet. I am not alive, but I grow. I don't have lungs, but I need air. I don't have a mouth, but water kills me. What am I? Elara thought deeply about the riddle. After a moment, she answered, a fire. The stone tablet glowed warmly, and the hidden door in the oak tree opened, revealing a small, glowing lantern. Elara carefully took the Lantern of Leora and held it up. The lantern's light was soft and radiant, casting a warm glow around her. She felt a sense of calm and clarity, knowing that the lantern's light would help her village. With the lantern in hand, Elara made her way back to the village. As she approached, she could see the shadows that had plagued the village beginning to recede. The lantern's light spread through the village, dispelling the darkness and revealing the true beauty of the place. The villagers gathered around, amazed by the lantern's magical light. As the shadows disappeared, the village came back to life with joy and laughter. The once gloomy atmosphere was replaced with a renewed sense of hope and happiness. Elara was celebrated as a hero, and the Lantern of Leora became a treasured symbol of light and hope. The village continued to thrive, and the forest remained a place of magic and wonder, where legends and kindness intertwined. And so, Elara's adventure with the Lantern of Leora became a beloved tale, reminding everyone that light and hope can be found even in the darkest of times, and that true courage and kindness can illuminate the world. Once upon a time, in a land far beyond the mountains, there was a village nestled at the edge of a great and mysterious forest known as the Enchanted Grove. The villagers spoke in hushed tones about the magical creatures that roamed its depths and the ancient secrets hidden beneath its canopy. Among the villagers was a young girl named Elara, whose curiosity and bravery were well known. Unlike the other villagers who were content to live their lives near the forest's edge, Elara had always been fascinated by the stories of the Enchanted Grove. Her grandmother, who was the village storyteller, had filled her head with tales of magical beings and hidden treasures. One crisp autumn morning, as the leaves danced on the breeze and the sun peeked through the trees, Elara decided it was time to venture into the heart of the Enchanted Grove. She packed a small bag with essentials, some bread, cheese, a flask of water, and her grandmother's old compass, which had been in her family for generations. As Elara stepped into the forest, the air seemed to shimmer with enchantment. The trees were taller and grander than any she had ever seen, their leaves glowing with hues of gold and emerald. She followed a narrow path that wound deeper into the woods, guided by the compass that seemed to have a life of its own. After walking for a while, Alara came upon a glade bathed in a soft, golden light. In the center of the glade stood a majestic oak tree, its trunk wide and gnarled. At the base of the tree was a small door, intricately carved with symbols that seemed to pulse with a faint, magical glow. Alara hesitated for a moment but then mustered her courage and pushed the door open. To her amazement, it revealed a spiral staircase leading down into the earth. She descended slowly, her heart pounding with excitement. At the bottom of the stairs, Alara found herself in a large underground chamber filled with sparkling crystals and ancient artifacts. In the center of the chamber was a pedestal with a beautiful, ornate chest resting on top. The chest was covered in delicate engravings of mythical creatures and glowing with a soft, ethereal light. Alara approached the chest, her hands trembling with anticipation. She lifted the lid and found a collection of enchanted items, a shimmering cloak that changed colors with every movement, a silver flute that seemed to sing on its own, and a golden key that radiated warmth. As Alara examined the key, she noticed a small note hidden beneath it. The note read, "To the one who finds this treasure, a choice you must make. Use the gifts wisely, for they hold great power. One wish can be granted, but be true to your heart and the forest will guide you. Star." Alara pondered the note's message. She could use the key to unlock the chest's other secrets or make a wish. After much thought, she decided to use the wish to help her village, which had been suffering from a long drought. With a deep breath, Alara closed her eyes and made her wish, "I wish for rain to fall upon my village and bring prosperity to our land. Star." As she spoke the words, the golden key began to glow brightly, and a gentle, warm breeze filled the chamber. Alara felt a sense of peace and fulfillment. She knew that her wish had been heard. Returning to the surface, Alara made her way back to the village. As she approached, she was greeted by the joyful sight of dark, rain-filled clouds gathering overhead. The first raindrops began to fall, and soon the village was blessed with a steady, nourishing downpour. The villagers rejoiced, and Alara was hailed as a hero. She shared her tale of the enchanted grove and the magical gifts she had found. The village thrived once more, and Alara's bravery and kindness were celebrated for years to come. And so, the enchanted grove remained a place of wonder and magic, and Alara's story became a cherished legend, reminding all who heard it that true magic comes from the heart and the courage to make a wish for the greater good. And they all lived happily ever after.